Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of our Anesidora actual play. My name is Bruce Monick, the creator of Anesidora, along with my brother, and I'd love to introduce you to our players for today. So first we'll start with B-Dave.
Dramatically, it is I, B. Dave Walters, hello, playing Galante, who is I would say shoot first, ask questions later, but no, question who needs to get shot, then start shooting.
And then new today we have Jake Stormoen.
Hello, I'm Jake Stormoen. I'm playing Vernor, who you will meet soon. On a personal side, I'm an actor and director. Time of recording this, I'm just about finished with a film I directed called Mythica Stormbound, so look for that. And in pre-production on a film Seeking Persephone, based on the USA Today best-selling novel, which is exciting. On the side, I've got a couple geeky companies. I have Stormforged Dice, so look them up, and Unearthed Emporium Jewelry. So I keep busy, and I'm glad to be here. So thanks for having me, Bruce.
Thank you. I also want to take a quick moment to say that I met Jake Stormoen because he was one of the stars of Pen and Paper and Laser Guns.
Yeah.
A very old deep cut of something I made a long time ago with some friends.
Many moons ago now. Yeah, it was great.
So, Jessica.
Hello, I'm Jess Cruz. I am playing Anemone, a flower person, I guess we're calling her, worshiper of Persephone. Goth flower is basically what we'll call her. I am the narrative designer for Drag Her, which is a drag-based fighting game, as well as an aerialist and a creature actor. Yeah, so I'm just creeping and crawling all over your airspace and your floors at all times.
Next up, new today, we have Knox.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Knox. I'm the creative director for Hunters Entertainment. I'm an artist and a designer that works here in Los Angeles. Probably seen my work across a variety of different projects. I tend to get around quite a bit, but I'm really happy to be here, really excited about Anesidora and excited to be back with all of these wonderful people. I want to do some cool role playing. I'm not going to talk a lot about my character because you're just going to have to wait for that. Oh, and dramatic entrance.
Nice. PJ.
Very dramatic.
Well, not dramatic. Hi, my name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at PJ McGaw. And when I'm not here with these amazing heroes, you can find me online doing project management stuff and writing stuff. Currently, I'm working with Eldritch Osiris Games. We have a big book coming out at the time of recording called Mech Finder. We had a Kickstarter. We got 2.5 times our original goal, and we are putting in extra work with all the stretch goals and making amazing content. So if you like TTRPGs and you like magic and you like mechs, go check out Mech Finder. But I am playing Koios, the divine seer, the miracle maker, and the pistol haver. And I am excited to come back and just see where the visions and the story leads my old bones.
Awesome. And then Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan Omega. I am a host, a corporate team builder, an experience designer. I'm the producer of Geek Public, which is a YouTube channel where we take convention-style panels and put them into a studio and record it and then caption it for accessibility for the internet. And I am playing Crito Ephesus. He is the face of the Church of Apollo. But if you saw the last episode, he is a very broken man when he learned so much of what has happened with the church and an actual God telling him, this is what your mission is. I'm like, okay, we are going to process this right now.
Wonderful. Yes. And Ryan gave us a little bit of a small recap, but to let you know where our heroes stand right now, they just faced off against Pathos, the priest of Apollo, who appeared to have betrayed the church and probably did, but he did it out of a place of goodwill and trying to save people's lives, which our party members now see as perhaps the right cause. They want to maybe investigate the church, look into what's going on, possibly oust some of the people who are doing particularly heinous acts, as well as destroy this weapon that they found in the ancient ruins. So I think we'll start with Crito, who was drinking at a bar. So my first question is, how many people have joined him? I know this is a few cycles later after your adventure has ended where people have recouped. Do you think that everyone is back together again, trying to meet and talk? or is this a more private and intimate drinking?
I think with Krito, he needs an old friend that he could talk to because he's wrestling with this whole revelation that has broken him, and maybe someone who could tell him I told you so and put him in his place while trying to help him figure things out.
Okay. So you're waiting at the local tavern having a drink when
Mhm.
you are visited by Werner, an old friend who's heard a little bit about what's going on, but doesn't really know what happened.
Mhm.
And Werner, when you come into the tavern, how do you appear? Do you walk in and Kratos sees you, or do you kind of appear out of nowhere?
So Werner is technically one of the chosen and comes in with clothing that kind of is a little loose and covers a lot of his body, almost a shawl cloak type, simple and nondescript. But if you look close, he has a little bit longer hair and there might be kind of pointed ears poking through that a little bit. And his arms are a little bit longer than a normal human's would be. The pupils of his eyes are a little bit more, narrow than a human's would be. So there's something a little different about Werner, and he's very good at keeping to the shadows. But I think in this case, it's kind of a mix of both. He walks in quietly, probably moving through the crowd that is there, but certainly not trying to hide his presence. And he pulls up a seat. He puts a hand on Krito's shoulder from behind and comes up next to him and just says, "How are you holding in there, my friend?"
Ah, glory of Apollo be unto you, Werner. Uh, and he looks around and asks the waitstaff, are you able to provide us a private booth? The Church of Apollo can pay for your your assistance, of course.
And one of the staff says, "Ah, for the church, anything. We have a room right over here. Why don't you take a step in?" They guide you to a side room, which turns out to be more of a nice bedroom attached to the tavern. So this is probably a hotel room that they will rent out to travelers. And they say, "Yeah, let us know when you're done with the room. No problem.
Yes, glory of Apollo be unto you."
May his light shine." And they close the door.
And then he turns to Werner. Oh my God, Werner, I'm fucked. Okay. Um. Uh. Okay. First of all, don't tell me I told you so, but the god of Apollo actually showed up in in front of us and said that the Church of Apollo is corrupt, and I need your help because we need to get into the heart of Apollo and throw this contaminated black goo into it.
Krito, first breathe, my friend.
Okay.
Breathe, my friend. Werner takes him over to the bed and sits him down on the bed, and then maybe pulls a chair kind of closer to the door. So there's a little bit of a distance, just to watch that exit and entrance a little bit, just a little bit. You can tell that Krito's worked up. Okay, all right, my friend. Now, start from the beginning. Why do you need access to the heart of Apollo? What are you talking about?
So the Church of Apollo has asked us to follow, or asked me to follow Pretty Boy Pathos because he keeps going off by himself. And at first I thought, maybe he's just touring. That's totally fine. But no, he's doing a thing. We and a group of us went and followed him. And it turns out that they have this black icky stuff that is contaminating all around Anesidora. So a bunch of us, I had to work with Exiled, okay? Okay, so you don't understand how hard that is for me. Especially since, we're very public facing. Anyways, in order to get rid of that black goo, we need something really, really powerful. And the Druid Glyn and the god Apollo himself said that we need to throw it into the heart of Apollo because it's the only thing that can destroy something that dangerous. And
The heart of Apollo.
The heart of Apollo,
You know what you're saying then. You understand what you're...
Yeah. But I am too high profile, and you know how to be, sneaky. So I need help.
All right. Well, before we go for it at all. Are you okay personally?
No.
Right.
I'm sorry, like, to be told that your entire church is a lie and having worked for it for years and then being the face of it, like, they could not have clued me in, but and it had to be a god that clued us in. So how are you? How are you? Like, I know it's about me, but how are you?
Hold on. So Werner's gonna just peek out the door real quick, and if everything looks good, Bruce, I think he's gonna turn to Credo and say, "Just wait here." And he returns a moment later with a couple very strong drinks, a warmed up one for Credo, something soothing that he can just sit and grasp for a second, and he just gently puts it into Credo's hand, who's sitting on the bed, and just reminds him for a moment. Exactly, Credo. Exactly that. That's a lot to process for anyone, but try right now. It sounds like you have a task ahead of you. Try to just remember what Apollo means to you and meant to you, and hold on to that, because that hasn't changed per se, right? So take the encounter that you've been dealt with, put that aside for a moment, and remember who you are, Credo, and why we know each other and why we get along and why you called me. And the rest we'll take care of one step at a time. And I won't say, I told you so. However, I won't. So he's gonna just let his friend sit for a minute and immediately start thinking about what this means, having to access the heart of Apollo. And he knows his limits in this task and how close he can get. Just gonna say, Credo, is there anybody else? You mentioned a group before. Are you expecting anyone else, or is this you and me, old friend?
They were planning to come a little bit later. Probably they should be here within half an hour.
Right.
On trying to figure out these things. So I would love for you to meet them, because they were instrumental in making sure this was contained. And one of them has a really cute puppy. So they are quite adorable. And someone is also amazing with flowers. We need to also figure out some kind of festival thing that we could do. Oh my, what am I thinking? Okay, sorry. I'm not in work mode right now.
Werner's just gonna kind of chuckle and sit back in his chair near the door and pull that shawl and cloak just a little tighter, and nod to his friend and say, "Drink that. We'll keep going when the rest of your friends arrive."
So you take a moment to relax. Is everyone meeting you at this tavern room, or were you going to meet them somewhere else?
I would have invited them to the tavern, but knowing that we now have a room, probably motioned them into the room.
Okay. So each of you arrive. Yes.
Can I just do one very small thing before we get in there?
Of course.
Is we're walking up, I lean over to Koyos, and I have these two bands. I have one on each wrist, and I kind of unclip it, and I say, things have already gotten a bit more complicated than anticipated, and I don't see them getting any simpler. So if we get split up, this will keep us in communication.
Put it on, clasp it tight, kind of look at it in the light in front of me. Okay, that works. That works well.
Coming through loud and clear. Now, wait a second. You didn't have one of those strange dreams about I hand you a communicator and then something terrible happens, like Anemone takes a bite out of my neck or something, right?
Hold on. No, I did have one where I was trying to feed the weapon to the sun, and then a man, as I'm dying, pulls me from it and then threatens to kill me. Are you that guy? Hold on.
I mean, maybe, but
Definitely not.
historically,
You got a clear look at the guy, and you remember that he had flawless skin and his body was heavily modified by the ancient magic.
excuse me, are you implying that I have not a flawless?
I'm not going. Come on, look at this man.
To me.
I will clarify that in this world, when I say flawless skin, I mean less like a beautiful person and more like literally robotic, like Ken doll type skin.
Got it.
Oh, almost like plastic in a sense. All right. So I kind of take a step back. No, you are not the man. The man had a face like a diamond. Cut. Fake. Valuable only to those who seek its explicit value.
Now, this time, I want to put this before the committee here. When we see such a person, I should shoot that man, right? And when I say this, the rifle just like flips over my shoulder. Like immediately, I'm like, that's yes, right?
I think no. I think no. Maybe we say hello. How are you?
In my
Are you
defense,
gonna destroy the world? And
we-
then maybe we shoot them.
Did share a number of words with the last fella until he drew his weapon. I said I was sorry, Anemone. One last thing. I'm sure Krito is waiting for us. Koyos, the gods have called upon him. Me, I'm a wanderer foul, and I just sleep where we lay our heads, and here's as good a place as any. But Anemone, you've got a life in existence. There's no shame if you just go home and continue on. We may not even come back from this mission.
I'd like to go home. I'd like to be among my flowers and my plants and my shrubs. But I feel like if I don't go, more of them might die. And that is unacceptable to me.
Well, we'll do it for the plants then, huh?
Only the plants. I don't care about the people at all, to be fair.
That's valid. And I just say, foul, roof. And I just like whistle 3 quick times. And the wolf kind of like shimmies up the side of it. Like the wolf badge like crawls up onto the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll kind of get comfy up there. You guys head inside. And when you head in, you see Credo open a door, motioning towards you, as he said. And coming towards this private room, you see behind him a cloaked figure as you enter the room. So you all together now.
Oh, everyone, I would like you to meet an old friend who might be able to assist us with the Heart of Apollo. This is Vernor.
Very nice to meet you all. I've heard some things, and it sounds like you've been through a lot.
Wouldn't be the Varnor from that business in the Eastern Wastes, would you?
It sounds like you've been through a lot.
Right. Right.
The flowers that I have on me kind of like do the Midsummer thing where they're like pulsing and moving and taking him in and kind of getting a vibe for him. And I just like, he seems fine.
Werner, could you please humor an old man? Extend out a palm like this, please.
I see Anemone shaking her head, and I kind of start like this, looking at Credo, and then Anemone's head shake gets my attention, and I say, "Please forgive me, Koyos. I tend to keep to myself."
And out of the side of my mouth, I'm just like, he's gonna do something weird.
I look at Anemone and kind of just slightly shake my head or nod my head in agreement. It's like,
I am gifted with many hints as to the future by the gods of Anesidora. Sometimes I need clarifications. I found, great teeth, great ears, great thumbs, and I just want to see your palm to see if the gods are speaking to me through you in this meeting.
I look at Credo.
we will humor Koyos.
All right. 2 hands I wrap around your wrist. I take your palm and I put it to my ear. My eyes start to kind of roll back because I'm waiting to hear something from the gods. Either it's a heartbeat or a song. And once I feel like I've gotten my answer, I got nothing.
Truly,
We'll-
you
We'll come back to this.
have a gift.
Thank
I
you.
look at Credo again.
What? Nothing. Nothing. Like you got no things.
No, let me sleep on it, and I'll come back to you.
On his hand?
No.
I close the door while they're talking and walk up to Credo so that I'm next to him, but he's facing one way and I'm facing the other. And I just kind of turn to the side and say, Credo, what have you gotten me into this time, my friend?
Listen, I cannot handle this shit by myself, so I need someone who I can trust. I mean, Anemone is great, and Galanti, pretty cool. Koyos, I'm just, there's a reason why we're drinking. Oh yeah, I need to drink more.
At that moment, Bruce, if it's all right, my ears, my kind of longer pointed ears, twitch a little bit, and I immediately look up at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And then to Galanti.
Yeah, here's a little click.
Yeah.
Mm.
No. Must be my imagination.
And I just sort of look at him for a second, and you see my eyes glow a little brighter blue, and say, well, I think that's a conversation to have around a campfire. Don't you think?
Great. I return to my seat and
Credo,
please.
how are you doing with the whole crisis of humanity or whatever it was?
Ever
Is it not
since,
a good...
I will say, ever since Werner put this drink into my hands, it is a little better. This is really strong. Werner, what did you get me? Ooh.
How special.
The house special. Oh, that is that's a very special. It's very special. Werner, you're so great about getting me the right drink. Oh, it's warm.
So
right.
Credo says you need access to the Heart of Apollo. Is this everyone? Is this everyone? And do you all need access, or can some of you stay behind? And please don't rush to answer. This is an important question.
We need to get into the Heart of Apollo, but you're very good at strategizing. So that's why I kind of need your help with that.
Credo, my friend, I have my limits. You know this.
Yeah, but you also know how to get beyond those limits. I mean, there's a group of us. We can figure this out. I know we can.
Well, of course we can figure this out. It sounds like one of your party members already knows of my exploits. That's besides the point. But what I'm saying is, I can only get you so far. I can navigate the back channels. I can get you in unnoticed and unseen. I've done it before. I can do it again. To access the Heart of Apollo, that's no small feat. There's only so much I can do. I can get you close, and I can get you close without bringing attention to yourself. And Credo, for you, with everything you've gone through, we can work out a fair price. But once we get there, it will be pointless if you can't actually access the heart, and that I can't help you with.
If I might make a suggestion, one that I'm already beginning to regret as it formulates. Good news, bad news. Good news, I know such a person that can open any door and might just be mad enough to be willing to stare directly into the heart of a god. There's no technological chicanery they're not capable of. The problem is they make Koyos look positively well-adjusted.
I just point to Koyos just to verify that that's who you're talking about.
This is the one that was listening to your hand. Yeah,
yeah.
no. Zarin Ferris is his name. You may know them by reputation. A genius, really. Perhaps too smart for this plane of being. But if you say the issue is bypassing security or accessing something technological, then that is the person you need.
I don't think we have very many options. I think we need to get past a door, and if we need a person who is not remarkable at all in their personality to get us through that door, then I think we do it.
Well, your option is you just stop now. Forget this whole thing. This is...
That's not an option. That's not what the gods gave us this time for. We need to destroy what we need to destroy. That means we must walk into the sun.
Werner, what about my dahlias? How could you say that?
Well, I'm going to need what Credo's drinking, and I suppose we can be on our way.
Oh, the church will cover it. Yes.
Yes, pack it up to go. I know the last place I saw Zarin, there was a hole not too far from here. It went down into a ruins of a vessel of some sort. I don't know that I can get them to agree to assist us, nor what kind of compensation that they would require or even want. But it's worth a shot. Perhaps Apollo still smiles on us after all, Creto, right?
I will worry about the compensation. If you can get us a meeting, let's get that meeting.
I slip out the door and head to the bar and just over my shoulder say, I'll meet you outside.
Hey, storyteller.
Yes.
I do have communication devices on my character sheet, hence the one I gave to Koyos. Is it a reasonable expectation that I might be capable of simply calling Zarin somehow, or do we need to go where we know they are?
I don't think you have communication device or anything with him, but I do think Zarin must have a way of people to get in contact with him. So, Nox, how do people get in contact with Zarin?
Well, when they decide that they want to do that, they don't usually use people to do it. Zarin, and you would know this, B-Dave, you would know that Zarin has an affinity for speaking with animals. And you could send a messenger, either a bird, some sort of creature, out, and it would most likely find Zarin and be able to communicate anything you needed.
I got the distinct impression that Werner was going to do something before we left, but I would just say I think I might be able to get Fowl to sniff them out. I don't understand, Creto. You and Zarin, like every time, I mean, like Fowl is a objectively menacing creature, but you all go straight for the tummy scratches. It's the strangest thing, but
it's not strange. Animals are very straightforward. They like affection and they protect things that threaten them and their allies. So of course we go for the tummy.
Perhaps
isn't that right? Oh, there you are. There you are. Oh, yes.
So it sounds like the party has headed outside and they run into Fowl again.
Just glides down from the roof, but we will wait for Werner, whatever he was going to do before we head out.
Werner's there with you with a mug in hand. And ready to go. Down it when you're ready.
Fowl can communicate the message, such as it is. What do we want to say? Help save the world, Zarin?
Have you thought about just saying hi?
But yes. But also,
how are you?
Perhaps a suicide mission in the most heavily fortified place in the entire world.
Maybe after, how are you?
We could also just ask, we need access to the heart of Apollo. help.
You're saying that quite freely for someone who knows there are always ears listening, Creto.
Yeah,
You're saying
you're
that like a
also
lot.
you're
you know?
outside right
Like,
now, and people get a little nervous in your party
it's not,
looking around.
it's a-
Oh,
Creto, remember?
About
that's right.
theatrical
Oh,
proof.
yes.
It's a-
Glory
it's
of
a
Apollo
shame.
be unto
Yeah.
you.
Right. It's
Yes,
a hymn.
we
We're
are
practicing.
looking for the
Yeah.
heart of Apollo,
Right.
the part
Did-
of
yeah.
the divine spirit.
Yeah,
That is what we are. That is what we are looking for. Glory,
Yes,
glory,
yes.
glory.
We might embody his goodness even
Creto's so
more
drunk.
fully.
Yes,
It's-
yes.
An older
Burn.
couple
Right.
walks by your party and looks like, what are they?
Anemone, do you have anything that might help bring Creto's wits back upon him?
Can I make him hallucinate?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Make it worse.
Yo, can I
I-
get some of that?
I do have a power on my sheet that says cause hallucinations in nearby living beings.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna try and give him like a nice, like maybe setting like the forest. There's nice flowers around. He's calm, but maybe something to kind of calm him down.
Okay. A pleasant downer hallucination.
Yeah, gotta
You're gonna
gotta
hit-
counteract.
You're gonna hit him with some indica.
Yeah.
In the couch. This is the message that I am aware that he can talk to Fowl. So I'm gonna explain this to him, but I'm also going to, I don't know, do we still use paper here, or do I have a reasonable expectation of being able to like clip a thumb drive to his collar or anything of the sort?
I think it's reasonable to attach some sort of magical recording device.
Is, help us, Zarn Forest, your only hope.
Yeah, just as like a small message.
My creature is like a mixture of a wolf and a bat, and he has rows of multiple blue eyes that look, I only have the two as a human, but he's got multiple. And I grab him by the face and I stare him in the eye and I say, Fowl, this is important. No, I don't want kiss. Okay, kiss. Okay, great. This is what I want you to say. You say, find Zarin Ferris. I know. Find him. Yes, he can scratch your tummy. Tell him, Zarin, it's Galante. We need your help to infiltrate the heart of Apollo to save the world. And I also record this as well because I realize Fowl may or may not say this.
Yeah, I was wondering how Fowl was going to telephone that. So
It's porque no los dos, but we got a backup plan because it is the world, you know?
In the recording, I pop in from the side and go, "Hi."
That's good. Yeah. Hi, Zarin. How are you? How are you doing? Are you happy with? And then it like ends like midway. With
yeah, end message.
Yeah.
If you're happy with your recording.
Press 1.
Yep. And then I dispatch Fowl towards the hole where I saw Zarin go down last into the ruins.
All right. So Fowl heads out into the ruins of Apollo.
Stay away from those chickens.
He has a particularly strong sense of smell. He's very aware of his surroundings. In these ruins, he crawls around, eventually catches Zarin's scent, heads towards him. And Zarin, wherever you are currently holed up, this large Nyx creature appears. I believe most of you I told about this creature last time, but it has these huge furred wings on its front arms, much like a bat. Similarly, it has bat-like features on its face, long ears, but it has these multiple glowing blue eyes, and it has smaller limbs underneath. And it arrives at Zarin, and Zarin, you immediately can understand the message of Galante and Apollo. But beyond that, Val didn't pick up that much. But you do find the recording easily with your magical prowess and listen to Galante's message. So how would you like to respond to all this?
I think Fowl has entered into a large cavern, and that cavern is tied into some of the wayward pieces and ruins of one of the older ships. Not anything particularly important, but certainly something of some significance. And when Fowl enters, every inch of his cavern has been scratched and etched with glyphs and runes. and the broken pipes that are sort of jutting down from above are covered with these four-winged, single-eyed birds that are sort of like crows, and they're strung out everywhere, and they're just sort of like shuffling and cawing and watching very closely, and get uncomfortable when fowl enters, predator prey sort of relationship. And Zarin is meditating, I think, in the center of the room, on a single rock with like a shaft of light down. And as soon as the message is relayed, picks up a staff and stands. And this figure is just a draped mound of cloth, and it's all rags. And the staff is covered in bells, and has like a hook across the side of it. And 3 orbs start to float around and circle around Zarin's head as they walk out and just start heading in the direction that Fowl leads.
So, Zarin, Fowl leads you back towards the tavern and the outskirts of the city. Do you walk through the streets for all to see, or do you just keep a lower profile?
I do not care what they think.
All right.
So Zarin is walking dead in the center of whatever road might be there. Bells are probably ringing across his outfit. They have the staff, and that's ringing as well. And the crow-like creatures are sort of flocking behind.
So a lot of people notice it, and they keep their distance. The party nearby the tavern, your first impression of Zarin's coming is actually murmurs and whispers, and people walking down the street of giving warnings of something coming, something strange, followed by this distinct sound of bells. And
that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
How long did it take for this whole thing to happen?
It probably took a while, honestly, maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
So is there something you wanted to do in that time, or?
Werner's probably near Credo, making sure that he's sobering up still and is doing all right just as a friend, but for the most part is probably like leaning against the building, or if there's a bench, just kind of laying down. Clearly this took longer than he expected, and he's wondering what he got himself into. But I'll perk up at the sounds of the whispers and the birds, and it's one of those moments of like, oh my god, what have I done?
And it's a short while after you hear the birds and bells that Zarin enters your visual range.
Okay.
You see Zarin in all his majesty, and he's very impressive to look at and intimidating as he approaches you. And Zarin, how would you like to present yourself to the party?
Could I just say one last thing? Right as I see Zarin coming, I just kind of look and I just say, under no circumstances lie to them. They know. I don't know how they know, but they know. Yeah.
And I think as they approach, this mound of cloth and bells and these creatures flying all about, I think Zarin walks and moves straight to Galante. We have been waiting for you. It is good that you have reached us. The time has come, and we are prepared.
I just give the slow rotate to Koyos, like to translate mad person, but I'm like, yes, thank you for joining us, all of you. And thank you, Fowl. Yes, all right, thank you. We have much to discuss, but not to be rude, would it be possible for us to talk on the way? Because not only is time of the essence, there are many eyes and ears about.
Yes, we shall.
Zarin, do you have a discernible face amongst the shroud of rags, or are you just kind of so shrouded we can't see your face?
Yeah, no, you do kind of see a face underneath it. It is shadowed, but
Okay.
you swear you think it's moving.
Are you tall?
Yes, but hunched.
I mean, I don't know how tall you are in context of Anemone, but I think she would, if she could, try and jump up into your shroud view and say, "Hi, hello."
Great.
Hi.
Yeah, so I think you do get a better look. Can you see well in the dark?
I think so.
Burn
The
it.
flowers can.
Oh yeah, sure. Your flowers can. And I think that maybe you do get a better view. They're very actually young looking. Are sort of androgynous, and it does feel like their face is very nondescript, but their eyes immediately kind of like catch your attention. They're pure white, and
Okay.
the skin is very, very pale and gaunt, but there's inner workings of these black and blue veins that work their way up around the eyes. And they kind of look like almost like circuits, like wires that are moved across the temple there.
All the flowers on me do that big thing. I forget there's a movie, but like the flowers like kind of attach to you and like breathe you in, like suck in like a smell, and they just sort of like shake their heads as if there's not really a smell because you're a little bit perhaps electronically more wired than nature.
They kind of blend into the environment. They smell like a place, not a person.
Got it.
If I could, real quick, Werner's eyes, which are a little more of a slit than a normal human already, they kind of flash into like a full slit for a second, and because he can see in the dark very well, Werner's eyes zone in on Zarin and their face, and I just kind of grab Credo's arm firmly, not scared, not concerned, but just like to get his attention, and I'm holding my gaze on Zarin as long as I can as I slowly turn towards Credo and then back to Zarin and release that grip, and just there's a lot happening here and a lot to take in.
Credo just mouths to Werner, "I'm so sorry. I needed help."
I kind of shuffle over, not quite low to the ground, but try not to like impose with my presence. And I get a little closer to Zarin, and I kind of stand up straight. I'm not looking at your face. I have no need to look at your face. I see you in a different way, and I kind of look beyond that, and I say, "Hello, you and I share a similar set of eyes. It's not the ones here that we look with. I must ask you a question. One for fun and one for business. Business first. Have you seen anywhere a flawless man, the Diamond Man? Very handsome, very powerful, carries a large death device. Have you seen this man anywhere with your eyes?"
You don't know exactly what he's describing, except you do actually feel something coming, like a sense. And as you turn your head, you see walking down the street towards you, everyone who was staying out to get a look at Zarin has now gone into the buildings. This street is almost empty at this point. It's like a ghost town that you're mysteriously standing in the open of. And you see a group of 10 men walking towards you. Each of them are wearing white and yellow and gold uniforms that resemble more like nobility or military officers. And they have a variety of weapons holstered or packed onto their bodies, including one in the lead who has a huge bow that appears more like a compound bow machine than a regular archery bow. And his face is a similar type of flawlessness, but it's because so much of his body appears to have been replaced over time. Various parts of him are no longer human and are more machine, though it's covered by gloves and other pieces of clothing. The only thing you can really see is his face with these flesh-colored plates and slight wiring underneath as he approaches your party with his retinue. And Credo, you immediately recognize this group, and other people who lived in the city and the area probably do as well. These are representatives of the Apollo military. They're probably like 50 yards when you notice them. Enough that you can respond in some way if you would like.
Credo starts slowly approaching them because obviously Church of Apollo, and says, "Glory of Apollo to be unto you all for your services. I see that you are roaming around doing your duties, is there anything that I might be able to help you with?
The man in the lead says, "Glory and light and all of that. I'm here to talk to you, Crito, but it looks like you've waded into the trash out here."
Listen, some of us are among the people so that the glory may shine upon everyone. You were looking for me. What can I help you with?
Whatever you say, Crito. It appears that I have heard that what you were working on, it's been delayed, taken a while. I mean, you went into the woods, you came back, spent a few days in town drinking, and now what? You're just here sitting around with some street trash? You had some things that the church expected of you, and we have yet to receive any report. Anything to say for yourself?
Yes, formulating a detailed report takes some time, as you yourself may know from all of the paperwork that you yourself have to submit for your reports when dealing with physical incidents. This
Wonderful.
one was
Great.
very
I'll speed it up for you,
complex.
Crito. Was it a success or was it a failure? And what do you have to show for yourself?
Well, it is neither, and that's why I have a long report.
I don't deal in these gray areas, Crito.
I deal with several gray areas. What is your point?
My point is that if you can't deal with this little mission of yours, then it's going to be my problem. And I don't like when I have to deal with those kinds of things.
We still have time. We still have time, and I understand your concern.
Werner
But
takes a step forward and puts his hood down and steps right in front of Crito and looks at the head guard and says, he said the report is coming. If there's nothing else, he'll hand it in soon.
Is the floor? Are we on like
I think you're on like a kind of
like dirt road?
it's probably a brick road because you're
Okay.
close to the main city. I mean, there's like dirt between the bricks or whatever. It's not like a really nice road per se.
I was gonna see if there were roots beneath the road.
Yeah, there might be like a few little plants growing in places,
I
but
want to
it's
see
not
if
broad dirt.
I can encourage them to kind of come up and slightly come around the people's feet so that when they try to walk away, they trip.
So you feel like your plants have a good grip on their feet, though they haven't tried to move away yet. And he turns to Crito and he says, or he looks over Werner at Crito and he says, "Keep your trash in order."
the glory of
Excuse
Apollo
me.
be unto you.
Excuse me, humble street trash with a question. Diamond Man, do your eyes still work as flesh, or are they too metal?
I am slowly becoming a reflection of the divine, and you are nothing. And he turns to leave. But when he turns to leave, he kind of like stumbles a little bit, brushes himself off, and looks at you kind of annoyed and angered and says, "I'll give you a cycle, Crito. Then I'm going to find you again and we're going to deal with this." And he and his men walk away.
Suck it, nerds.
Yes, Galanti.
What is the current location of the black goo? I know the druidess like restored the canister, but I mean like physically, where is it?
I believe Koyos is currently in possession of it.
Got it.
Tucked away in his pouch somewhere.
Got it. I would just say after all of that goes, it's just like every time he like said any trash, like the rifle would just come up like a little bit more. So it's just like pointing straight up. And I'm like, we should probably go, Werner, which perhaps take us the long way around in case we're being trailed.
Werner knows exactly where to go to get towards the city and sees the way that the Apollo guards were leaving. Bruce, I would imagine they're going middle of the road, you know, making sure they're seen. So Werner kind of steers the group, ushers Galanti towards the front, and I say I'll take up the rear, and just points down kind of some alleys and tells you where to turn, but starts ushering you towards the city then, because very clearly the longer we sit in the open, things are happening and attention is being drawn that is counterproductive to the task you've brought me in for.
very quickly, as you move into the side alleys, you do get the sense that like occasionally people are looking out at you, possibly reporting about you. Zarin definitely feels an energy of like magic that's trying to detect and track you guys, but he's able to calm it and confuse it. And even Fowl gets a scent of the occasional person trying to reestablish your trail, but because of his warnings, your group is able to avoid tracking.
Would it be all right, Bruce, and it's okay if not, if as the group is moving, I'm imagining a fair number of buildings close together, and so there's the main streets and pathways, and then these kind of alleys, like you said, and people looking out their windows. If Werner from the rear is directing kind of the rough direction, and every once in a while, but nobody really knows how yet, he'll kind of come around the corner in front of Galanti and redirect him and kind of say the next path, and then let the group go and take up the rear again. It's almost like he knows shortcuts to the shortcuts. Do you know what I mean? Is that all right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As we're moving, I look at Crito and recall when we were dealing with the priest last time, I took a tatter of his shirt, like the seal off of his shirt as proof that we'd killed him. And I just offer that out to Crito. I'm like, I think this might be of more use to you should you need proof of the success of your mission.
He takes it, nods to Galanti. Thank you. How are you faring, Galanti? What do you think about Zarin? They are very odd.
I think as you say that, the birds and the orbs are like making a modem sound. It's sort of like very soft and sort of ringing out through the alleyway. And like as you walk by certain areas, lights pop off and on.
I noticed this and I just say Zarin is very Zarin. Crito, it's interesting. You talk to the gods and try and serve them. Apparently the gods talk to Koios and Zarin. Anemone is a creature of this good earth. Werner is careful turning your back on Werner. Me, I just walk the path before me. Do what good I can with the time I got.
Well, you are quite invaluable, and I trust your judgment even though we barely met. If this is our way to handle this, then we will support you however we can. But I am afraid.
Oh, you'd have to be a great fool to not be afraid currently. I mean, you remember we're following Koios towards his prophesied end, which he did not see himself surviving, and by extension didn't see any of us surviving. But one thing, that man that was just pursuing us, that bow device he was carrying, am I correct in assuming that was some sort of firearm?
Oh, you are absolutely correct. Because even the church needs protection.
Well, be interested to see how the Morrigan does spreading a little bit of the gospel when the time comes. But if it gets ugly like that, you just duck, Crito.
Of course. Crito turns over to Werner and asks, Werner, how are we doing? How are you doing?
We're close. Whether or not that's what Crito meant, he kind of glazes over and is focused on the task at hand. And after saying that, kind of moves towards the front to whisper something into Galanti's ear. And if it's all right with you, Bruce, they probably are getting close to the city now, if that works with what you have planned.
So within the city, the only question I really have, are you headed more towards the ruined area of Apollo to try to sneak in? Or are you heading more towards the front to use some of your connections?
I think given the recent encounter, he's not going to be direct. So I think we're going to sneak around. Okay.
So your party heads towards a secret entrance in the ruins. You enter the ruins of Apollo. This is like, so when the gods fell from the sky, they didn't just hit one place. They often kind of moved across the ground as they did, and it left behind rubble and wreckage and ruins behind it. This area is considered sacred and dangerous, so most people don't live here. There aren't a lot of like homes built. However, there are a few people living on the outskirts of society where this is the only place they can be. They are looked down on or seen as somewhat heretical, but the church doesn't really do anything about it. But you keep through this area. Eventually you get to the god's proper body. This is a contained shell of a god. The area is sealed, and yeah, there's basically an occasional airlock and door. Yes, B-Dave?
I'm sorry, please finish your description.
I was going to say that there's like an occasional airlock and door, but all of them have guards on them, and the entire thing is just covered and riddled with magical security systems, ways for people to see you, shades that are artificial intelligences designed to guard the god, as well as like lighting systems, though this is the daytime, and it's all very secured.
So as this kind of comes into view, I look at Zarin and I say, you know, you never said what you wanted in exchange for assisting us in this matter.
You're quite right. I didn't. I keep walking.
I just, when they do that, I just look at Credo and I just say, oh, that means the price went up. Okay. All right.
And Bruce, as we come into this, is on the other side of these doors, is that the heart of Apollo, or we're just coming into a more secure part of the city? And my other question is, what makes the area that we're passing through now, or have just passed through, so dangerous? Is it animals? Is it bandits? Is it
Sure.
artificial intelligence? Is it?
So we'll just talk a little bit about how this whole city is structured and laid out. So you have what is considered the god's body. That is the ship itself, with all of its many residential areas. It's like farming areas. It's all like command structure and everything that would be within a ship to run it. One of those many places is the heart of Apollo, which is a power system, and it is deep within the ship itself. You guys are just reaching the edge of this secured ship.
Great.
Beyond that, there is the ruins of the ship. That's basically the parts of the ship that were destroyed and smashed in the crash. That is the area you just passed through. It's dangerous because there might be occasionally crimes, like you mentioned, but most of the danger stems from the fact that there's unstable junk out here.
Great.
Like, you might find something that just kills everyone that walks within 50 feet of it. That might just be a thing out here. It's like some sort of radioactive or explosive device that will just kill you randomly.
But we've gotten through that now.
Yes, yes. Okay. This is your character's expertise. You know this area, you've traveled this area. It's been, like I said, 1,000 years since these ships crashed.
Yeah.
So people have like an idea of what's safe and what's not. But for day-to-day life, people just don't go there. The church has been like, this is a sacred place. People shouldn't be here. But everyone knows it's super dangerous.
And even though we're not at the heart of Apollo yet, we're just coming to the main part of the god city, of the god body itself. There's no open boundaries. You said it's all doors and they're all manned by guards, and it's very clearly a secure location already. Is that correct?
Sorry, every part of the body itself, it'd be like approaching a castle.
Yeah, great. Well said.
Like the castle is secured on all sides. Most castles only have one entrance or maybe two, but this one has multiple entrances because it has all these various airlocks. Perfect. All the ones that are on the ground are manned. So there are like people outside keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Then in addition, there are like ones that are higher up because the ship like comes out of the ground. As you can see, I sent everyone an image of an example of a god city in the chat. Mm-hmm. So the ship itself like extends out of the ground. So there would be other entrances into the ship. Those either have people inside the ship that you're aware of, or they have shades, and shades are like magical beings that are eternally awake and eternally in service of their priests and the god.
Thank you. As Werner prepares to be useful, I just wanted to make sure I was properly understanding where we are and what we're up against. So I
also want to
appreciate that.
clarify based on this picture as well, just so you guys know. In this picture, this is just an example. This isn't Apollo, but you have the god's body, which is like a central temple and city. Then you have usually like a sacred area set up around it, which is the area you guys are entering, and the ruin space. And then you have the area beyond where there's like more of a city structure with buildings. That is the god city. Whenever I refer to something as the god city, it is the full city limits of town space built around the god. The god's body is considered the god. And this is also probably a good time to mention that I've told you guys about the Chosen and the Exiled, and how during the Fimbulwinter they were split in two. So there is actually another schism in society where the gods chose a certain number of people. So let's say, for example, Apollo said 100,000 people would be chosen. Then when multiple generations have passed after this, the population has gone up because people, once life was okay, people who were even chosen, who were part of this chosen descendancy, they left the god, they founded the god city, they built new homes, they had kids, they built farms, they went out and did other things, and the population has risen. However, the gods and the god cities and the churches maintain a certain number of people who are considered citizens. And they are the actual ruling class and essentially the nobility of the chosen. And though that number can never go higher than the number the god originally chose. So there is a divide in this city where the chosen live in the god city and get to like be in communion with Apollo, and they get the magic and they get the power of being part of this chosen society. But then there is a limited number of people above them who are the citizens. They actually live in Apollo, or they might work as like governors and nobles of various lands outside of the city.
Perfect.
So the only person in your group who might be a citizen is Crito. But even then, in order for him to be a citizen, one or more of his parents would have to also be citizens, and they would have to be dead. Because it is a title that is passed down hereditarily. It'd be like, he would be the son of a citizen the way someone might be the son of a duke. Crito, is your family citizens, and are you a citizen?
Yes.
So you have already inherited the title.
Yes, I've already inherited the title.
Okay. Being a citizen, that means he has a lot of access and a lot of respect within chosen society. The party arrived at the edge of the god. It's Apollo himself. So this is the outer shell of a giant crashed spaceship. Around you are the ruins of the ship, and it's mostly deserted. You might have seen an occasional person who tried to keep their head down as you were going, but in general, it's pretty deserted, pretty quiet. But from this distance, you can see the god's shell. And there are, it looks like, 2 guards standing outside. They're kind of lazing about. No one is crazy enough to attack Apollo. So they're pretty chill and not keeping up a super high security. However, you are aware that the shades of the city are these ancient spirits or artificial intelligences that haunt and man all the various security systems on Apollo. And they are always on high alert, even if you can't see them in this world.
So would you say that these guards could be led away from their post if given the correct encouragement?
Oh, yes. With the right motivation, I think you could lead them away.
What if I make them imagine that there's something else that needs their direct and immediate response from further away? Werner, do you think you could sneak us in?
Yes, potentially. The larger the group, the more difficult it will be. And as Credo will tell you, I have a few tricks up my sleeve, but I'm leaning towards the fact that some of those might work better the deeper we go into Apollo, towards the heart of Apollo itself. If you'd like, I'm happy to try. If you have something in mind, we can kick off this party and get it started. But the fuse will be lit, I would say, once that begins.
Is everybody ready to light the fuse?
Yeah. I grab my revolver, lead the way.
Can I hallucinate upon-st them? So these are guards of Apollo, right? So I want them to see this like beautiful sunshiny forest, but there's like a guy who's all bronzed, who looks like Apollo, just flexing, standing, looking. Maybe he's like a little hot to them, but maybe also they're just like, my God.
I see him. I see him right there. Oh, that's Koyo. Sorry.
Why is my God asking which way is the beach?
So I'm just gonna go down to the pool.
Yeah, he's asking weird questions, but they're like, oh, I have to answer this question. Is my moral imperative to answer, and I would like to potentially lead them away from the doors if possible.
To give aid if it was necessary was either a perform miracle or create major light. Either they see the son of Apollo or they're gonna be in the son of Apollo. So I don't know. Choice is yours.
I will say, so a major light would definitely potentially help magnify hallucination. So the interesting thing is what you guys see is Koyo's putting up some lights that look really cool and pretty. No one else sees what happens because this is a hallucination in the minds of the guards. In fact, interestingly enough, this isn't going to get picked up by any of the security sensors either. All they might see is like a few flashing lights, but they do not see the beautiful, perfect garden that Anemone builds for them. Anemone.
Mana mana.
That's our code name.
Are completely transfixed by this beauty. They have never experienced this. To them, this is a true divine moment. And the two of them just get up and wander away, trying to follow Apollo through the beautiful fields. And this door is now left unmanned.
But to be clear, we think there's like still techno barriers, even though the people have physically left, right?
Yes. You do believe there's still a magical defense here.
Now I give the slow rotate to Zarin.
Yeah, I think they've already started to kind of walk towards the door. The bells are jingling as they move forward, and they reach a hand out, and without actually touching the door, they sort of wipe away from the door as if cleansing the aura of the space in front of them. And again, that kind of really distant sound of, to anyone who knows it still, is the sound of like a modem working discordantly, not only around Zarin, but also amongst the birds that are perched all around right now, and the three orbs that keep circling over them. I'm going to try to not only open the door, but I'm going to try to use my magic then to not only tap into the space around me, but also into the past, and try to decipher any of the combinations that the guards or anybody that might have walked through, any of the codes, any of the security measures, so that I actually see everything that happened a few hours ago as people were maybe coming in and out of it.
Perfect. So Zarin comes up, waves across, and once again, the rest of you don't see this, but Zarin actually looks into Hades and sees somewhat into the past, where you can see the magical codes that open this lock, and you are able to just place your hand upon the screen that holds them, enter the codes in, and the door opens. And those of you who can sense Hades, like Krito, you can sense that the security and the watchers of this place have left and gone.
I lean over to Koyos really quickly and I say, You should have asked to look at their palm.
Why? I don't need to look at them. We know each other. We go to the same plane of mental. You know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
I think you can see underneath the robes, you see like this plume of breath, like it's really cold around them, and it just kind of like disperses out, and they just start walking through.
Wonderful. And they start to enter this airlock. Now, as I said before, this is an airlock system. So this first door has been opened, and there is a chamber inside of it, and there is a second door. Maybe only half the party has been within a god city before, but you know that if you head inside here, only one door can be opened at a time, and you are all expected to gather together. Then you head inside. For anyone who hasn't been inside a god before, when the doors close to the exit, this can be an incredibly claustrophobic experience. I think Koyos, for particular, who spends most of his time outside in the wilds, this place is clean, it's serene, there's like no sense of life. Anemone is definitely put off by this place where there's an abundance of non-natural life here. Now, for those who are magically attuned, it feels like this overpowering divinity in the other direction. Zarin, having already divined the codes, he easily opens the inner door. Now you have access to the god Apollo himself. Werner, given your knowledge of this city and having almost certainly been inside of it and moved around before, you do know that even though you know some nice shortcuts and some secret paths, it is inevitable that you will run into other people. So you should probably warn your party and come up with an approach of how you are going to interact with people and where you might want to go. Now, you could beeline to the heart itself, but that might be too direct a route. You might run into some heavy security. However, you might know that if you were to say, meet with the priesthood in advance or go to create some sort of distraction, it might be easier to move about this city. So feel free to make your plan and discuss amongst yourselves as you exit this airlock.
So
Why do I think it's not going to be hard for us to make a distraction? I don't.
So I'm going to usher everybody out of this small space and into what is now the outer limits of the main god body, if I'm understanding that correctly, and just kind of around the corner for a sec. And I just kind of create a little bit of a huddle and look around, and the ears twitch a little bit, just making sure it's safe to even talk for a moment. I recount all that. I won't bore everybody who just heard you, Bruce. But I basically say that there are multiple paths. Wait here for just a moment. You've hired me to, or brought me on, and I glance at Credo, to help you get in with drawing as little attention as possible. And that's what I plan to do. However, some of you, and I look at Zarin, are going to be harder to mask than others. So just wait here for a moment. Credo, you told me when we met at the tavern of some hardships and new information that was recently revealed to you and is causing a bit of a personal crisis. And I apologize again. Do the other priests of Apollo, have you been in contact with them? Would they know of your hesitations and perhaps your new outlook on things, or are they still welcoming you into their confines?
Right now, I have not really been in communication with anyone while I've been processing. As far as they were concerned, I was still going after Pathos rather.
Great.
So right now, there shouldn't be a reason why they think differently, despite what the Hand of Apollo did earlier. But that's because he's waiting for a report.
Understood. I won't be long, friends. Give me just a moment. And I'll kind of reach under my shawl, the cloak kind of stops at maybe just below the belt line, currently the kind of rags that I'm wearing. And I'll kind of reach under a shoulder for a second. And in almost a mechanical layering. It drops and extends and shimmers in a cloaking device. And I put the hood up, if that's all right, Bruce. Since I can stealth in the open, I almost vanish in this kind of like heat wave type of, if I stop moving, you don't see a lot, but with quick movement, it's almost this mirage kind of glimmer. And I'll use the kind of minimal but effective animalistic changes within my body to go up, exactly like Predator style, to go up kind of one of the walls and just get a little bit of a higher view.
So actually, I was about to explain something that
Please.
in the God City, this is actually, as I said, a crashed spaceship, which means that if, as you walk right in, you're not standing on what should be the floor, you're standing on what looks more like a wall with floor plates along the outer ring on the side, where the lights are actually mounted in front of you. So this whole place is very disorienting, where things that should maybe be on the floor are on the wall and the other way around. However, the magic of this place also kind of twists and changes gravity in some places. So you feel pulls to areas. So if you were to walk, you might be pulled towards the floor in this room, which feels like being pulled to the wall. However, with enough magical prowess and enough experience, you can use this to like move to the wall or move to the ceiling of your own choice.
I was just going to say, would Werner have been here enough to maybe like latch onto what is to us the wall, but maybe the floor or the ceiling, and then kind of bound off into one of those gravity pools to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that and leave the group for a minute, and I can leave the story with the group if that's better. But basically, Bruce, just so you know, the two things I'm looking for is a path of least resistance toward the heart of Apollo. I know I can't get them fully in, or whether or not if there's a spot where the priests of Apollo tend to gather and there's a greater focus of those individuals, if they would recognize and welcome Credo, and I would be better off trying to mask our companions to blend in with that crowd rather than simply disappear altogether.
Easier and shorter to get to sort of like the main priesthood's temple within Apollo itself. And you've probably been in Apollo at some point, so you know the general route and head towards it. Are you going to tell the party to wait here, or should they be headed in that general direction?
No, I was going to have them wait and then come back with, just so I can get a little bit higher to see what our most time-saving route would be. And again, if it means going towards a crowd, but that crowd is priests of Apollo that would help us cloak in a more strategic and less magical way, then that's one thing. If that's taking us toward the heart still, versus skirting along the outer edge and staying more in the shadows with magic and cloaking devices.
Sounds good. And B-Dave?
Contextually, is this the kind of thing like, well, now that we're past the doorman, we're in the club and we act like we belong here? Or is this the type of thing that like we clearly should not be here and anyone that sees us is going to be like,
Definitely the second for most.
Got it.
Obviously, for Creto, he can get away with it. He's still wearing his vestments, I believe. For Galanti, actually, as a traveling knight of Gaul, you are considered well respected among the chosen. So seeing you, they would immediately recognize you as not a citizen of Apollo. But especially with Credo, they would assume you are probably an important guest of the city.
I look at the group and I just say, friends, I realize that we have Werner's stealthy specialties here, but I don't know how much that extends to the rest of us. We could also go for plain old deception. And I pulled out a length of rope and I'm like, Creto, servant of Apollo, and me, wandering peacekeeper, have taken into custody. So
you're gonna do the Chewbacca.
Yeah, you gotta do the Chewbacca. Exactly.
Wait, before that, Credo, do you have like a handkerchief or like a little scarf or anything by any chance?
Will this work?
Anemone's gonna take it and she's gonna put it on her head in the hopes that it makes her look like a citizen.
Is this discussion happening after I've bound it away or before, B-Dave?
It's up to you.
I probably would have tried to say it where you could hear it. Yeah,
Okay,
'cause-
okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So I have another idea. Why don't we just simply raid the closet where the vestments are and then have everyone come in as priests? Except for you, Galante, because you're already a respected knight.
I just look at Zarin and I'm like, I don't know that just a change of clothes will resolve this. What's happening?
Bruce, are there already other people around?
Not in this hallway right this moment, but there could be at any moment.
I don't know how this affects other people or people within the group, but I do have the minor trait forgettable.
Mhm.
And it means that people just don't notice me, even though that seems illogical. It's not really a cloaking device. It's more of like
Yeah.
I'm forgotten.
So
Almost
to
immediately.
clarify, it's like a social thing. It's like they will still remember there was a guy, and they
Yeah.
might remember like bells and stuff, but they won't remember like coming up with specific descriptions is difficult. But as I
So
said,
maybe-
it's very much like it's not magical. It's like a social construction that you're just the kind of guy that people are like, that's weird, and then they move on.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe
I
if
know
we
that's gonna help here, but
Yeah, well, but maybe if we do put you in priest gear, that could work because they're gonna like, oh, he's a priest. Maybe not, but I can't quite.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's enough to add to the deflection a bit.
whatever we need to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me, not Zarin. So you're gonna have to take that to them.
Okay, well, it sounds like you guys are able. Werner is already on the way to the priesthood, knowing a little bit of this special strategy. Also, I think it is very reasonable to believe that Galante would have remembered to give him the communication device before he headed out.
Thank you, Sean.
So you are able to remain somewhat in contact. However, you do know that you want to send your messages in some sort of code or very simple, because the spirits will be able to overhear you in this place.
We absolutely are not breaking into this place. If you see any vestments, be sure not to bring them back to.
But if you were to say,
real
like,
subtle,
when are you returning from the cleaning facility?
How's that laundry run?
Those kinds of things would probably go unnoticed. It doesn't take long for Werner. So, Werner, you move down the hallways. There are an occasional patrol of guards, but this place isn't super secure. They're just people who happen to be walking around, guards moving to their next location. Then you occasionally see citizens or their chosen employees moving around, talking general business, getting things together. This area is very much a trade and organizational hub because it is the closest to the ground and the easiest to get in and out of. So there are a lot of merchants and traders and people who deal with restocking the ship with materials from outside.
Do the priests of Apollo, are they monk-like, or do they go home at night and have a normal life outside of their temple? Would they value something of value should it accidentally leave one of the stalls that Werner is passing as a bit of a distraction once he arrives?
I personally feel that the priesthood of Apollo, they do deeply honor a monk-like lifestyle. But like many religions, a lot of people still live their lives the way that they want, or it's in appearances, and many members of the priesthood look the other way. So you do have high-ranking people who are like, I am a monk, I am all about Apollo, I don't even have a regular life. And then you have other members of the church who are like, I show up for the ceremonies.
So as Werner is heading quickly towards the temple in the hopes of doing a laundry run, should something from one of the stalls fall off the truck that might catch the eye of some people and just cause enough of a distraction, I'd love to try to swipe one. And then upon arriving, I'd love to use that as a distraction.
You find something valuable, but you have to give up something else that you're carrying that could be useful for later. So, or it could be like you personally get hurt or something along those lines. So do you want to give a sacrifice to the gods, Is there anything that you can think of right now? Or do you think you need to move on from this trading area?
For the sake of entertaining and telling a good story,
I would lean towards that.
I think, now bear with me, friends. I think I'm going to sacrifice the communication device.
Oh!
Look at the two. Okay.
Ooh, spicy.
And if there is a way to kind of turn it on baby monitor style before I lose it, I'll do that so that we can hear the other side. You know what I mean? And it's not a complete loss. But if not, then that's what I'd like to sacrifice.
Sure, you can give it up. You can hear a little bit. However, what you guys are going to overhear is mostly trade dealings and other moving supplies around. Are you going to offer this to someone as a trade then? Or
yes,
I leaving it to spy on something?
No, when you said maybe I got spotted, that sounded right. Maybe something happened and Werner's stealth was not up to par today. I think maybe a little bribery and a trade for something nice that I can use as that distraction.
So what happens is, as you're sneaking through, you believe that you've been hidden, but a man looks over from his vehicle that's sort of like a makeshift cart attached to it, says, "Oh, why don't you come over here for a moment, right through your cloak of invisibility?" And as you reveal yourself, you actually recognize this man. He is known as a member of a sort of black market. So in this world, I mentioned sort of a difference between exiled and chosen using magic. Officially, the chosen say that the exiled cannot wield the magic of the gods. That is actually like the law. Now, most people look the other way and kind of let it happen, but officially it shouldn't happen. Now, this man, is someone who does deal in the buying and selling of exiled goods, and he provides them with magical power. So it's possible you've actually met him in the past, or certainly you've seen him and heard of him. And he says, "What are you doing here?"
What are you doing here? What?
Why, I'm picking up a fresh set of batteries. You know how important they are to the governorships to the east.
I do, and I'm happy to look the other way in that regard. Should anybody come asking, but I was actually hoping to bring a gift to a friend at the Temple of Apollo. Now, this friend, I don't know, has wants and needs and likes, perhaps outside of the norm for those who worship with him. But if you perhaps might have something that might catch their attention, maybe we could talk.
Of course. Now, in my travels, I have occasionally run into things that even the priests of Apollo don't have access to. I mean, they have all the power and magic of the gods, but there are still some things outside of their reach. He walks over to his vehicle, reaches under a panel, and pulls out a hidden drawer. Inside the drawer, you see a variety of what looks like nuts and candies, and bottles of liqueur, as well as it looks like a small, like, glass bottle with aquatic animals swimming around inside of it. And he says, all of these things are strange and unusual from far off lands. Maybe your friend would be interested in one of these as a gift.
I look at one of the bottles that might take a little bit more discernment to decipher the details of, might require getting closer to, and might tempt or intrigue more than one person should they get their hands on it. And I point to it and I say, I think my friend would very much appreciate that. What do you say? And I reach for the communication device and hold down however it's enabled so that I can actually communicate back with the group and say, I think my friend Galanti will enjoy this, but I'll have to apologize if he doesn't, and hand it over, and then hope to take that bottle and
takes a look at it and says, This is only half of a pear, but it is in quite nice condition. He takes it and places it on his wrist and says, sure. He reaches in and pulls out one of the nice bottles of liqueur. This looks like, when I say it's a nice bottle, I mean it seems to be well crafted. It doesn't have labeling. It's not like processed. In fact, it looks like it was probably handmade with its own seal of wax on it. And he hands it over to you and says, anyone who drinks this, I'm sure, will be in quite the good mood, and it might knock them off their feet a little bit.
Well, my friend will like that very much.
Wonderful. Well, you should make yourself scarce. I don't think you're really supposed to be here anymore, Werner. And he pushes the drawer under the vehicle.
I'd like to get to that temple ASAP and rejoin with my group as soon as possible.
So you quickly beeline to the temple. Because of your experience here, and also Credo explaining to you a little bit about how the temple is laid out, it's quite easy to get to the vestments. Once again, this temple is honestly pretty low security. Everything in this place, the security is magical in nature. They just don't have guards and patrols. Like, yeah, there are armed people around, but it's pretty easy for you to dodge around anyone. And Credo warned you about the various magical protections. So you're able to get the right vestments for at least 3 members of your party and head back to them. On his way back, I do want to mention that I believe Hyacinth is probably back in town waiting for you guys, because you probably couldn't sneak her in. So, but I do wonder, is Fal with you, Galanti?
I mean, I wouldn't leave him unless I absolutely had to.
You don't absolutely have to, but you do feel like he'd attract a lot of attention if people saw him.
That's all right. Yeah, that's fine. We're an attention gathering organization. Yeah.
Okay.
Would say as we're going in here though, I do try and like smooth his fur out, like when you're trying to do like picture day. And if I've got any sort of like Gaulish medallion or anything that I could like clip to his collar, like, making him look like a police dog type thing.
Yeah, you put his actual collar back on.
Exactly.
Can I put
I know.
the beautiful napkin scarf that Credo gave me that I've been wearing onto Fowl's head?
Now he's a citizen. Look at
It's
that.
beautiful.
Maybe tie it around so he's wearing like a little neckerchief. Like
Exactly. A
sometimes.
little neckerchief, like right when they come back from the groomers.
Yeah, they have a little neckerchief on.
He is a fresh and clean wolf dog monster. Bad thing. Yeah.
Do I make it then? Does the distraction
so
work?
Werner gets back and he returns with the vestments. And
So
he's now in possession of this beautiful bottle of liqueur.
Oh, I didn't even need to. I thought I was going to have to leave that at the temple.
No.
Oh, even better.
Gave away my device for nothing. Excellent.
That's not true at all. I was spotted. As I approach and I start handing these out, I'm already wearing some. I look at Credo. I'm itchy already. My sympathies, friend.
That's why we use lotion, because I think I have some here. Like just open your hand. We'll just squirt a little. Yeah, just.
Thank you.
like-
Also,
yeah.
Galanti, don't speak into that. I'll tell you later. Just don't use that anymore.
I mean, I overheard a strange conversation, but you didn't.
Things had to be done.
Actually, this might be good for us in Storyteller.
Hmm? Yes.
I would like to turn it back on to listen, especially because Werner, it was your intent to tell us what happened, right?
And I do explain that's because B-Day, that's exactly why I risked the device. Is I explained that I was spotted and something needed to be done and quickly. And I knew that this person liked things that weren't allowed within Apollo. If there was something I had to give up, that I didn't want to give up something that would aid in our stealth should we need it, and perhaps this could actually benefit us.
Specifically, I want to listen to hear if this dude went to narc on him like immediately. It'd be very like he's given a police report of like he's this tall, he's got kind of wolf ears, You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm listening for.
No. First off, I'm gonna go ahead and name this guy Rawson because he sounds like he's gonna be maybe come up later.
Love it.
Love it.
And no, he seems to have just gone about his day trading and continuing like nothing really matters.
Got it. Turn it off so I don't accidentally send something that we didn't want for him to hear. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Now you were all dressed as priests.
Yes.
Can I really quickly interject?
Yes.
So these all have the symbols of Apollo riddled across them. You know, Zarin doesn't really protest at all and immediately starts like taking off layers of robes, and it turns into this very large pile of cloth. They're very slight, actually, when all of this is off of them, and they're much thinner than they appear to be with all of the bulk on them. They have very, very pale features, but I mean, almost like a stark white. And then their hair is braided back with like powder blue ends across of it, strange and sort of like almost albino. Their eyes are white, and if you hadn't noticed before, you realize that Zarin is blind, and that the orbs kind of like pull in closer. Is there a brazier or anything like that amongst the material that was brought back, like an incense burner?
I mean, there certainly could be if that's something that you would have requested.
Yeah, I mean, I just think because they're going to need a staff or something, because when they pull these orbs in, they really can't see anything. So I think that maybe like to keep the illusion going, they're going to walk with like a incense burner, and they're very clearly using it now to try to see themselves forward.
Yeah, so Krito would have requested a few holy relics that you guys can use for various.
So a few holy props
Yeah.
that we can use.
Now, as this is all set up, I do think Krito, in the back of his mind, being a devout priest of Apollo, is like a little unsure about some of the uses of these props and vestments, but I think he can see past that.
He is freaking out a little bit, but he's like, all right, Werner's here. If I have a problem, I'll just talk to Werner. Or Galanti. Like, one of these people I can talk to.
Are the props or the items that Krito took, can you tell that they're like relics of Apollo? Or does it just look kind of nondescript?
If they are items, they are related to the religion and appropriate enough that service people or lay people or certain priests can handle them. So I wouldn't give you something that was super complicated. So it might be for Anemone, I might give them a book.
No. I was actually going to see if I can like give some flowers and like weave some things around Zarin's staff so that it doesn't look like the Apollo thing, because I think Anemone would try to make you feel better, but she doesn't really know what that means. So she would be like, well, now it doesn't look like the thing, so you don't have to feel stressed anymore.
Not heresy.
Yeah. It's just flowers.
I was going to ask, Galanti, do I know anything about your affiliations?
It's not a secret. Like you would know I'm a Knight of Gaul from a different world ship. I've wandered these lands. I mean, I'd like to think you and I probably have had a decent working relationship, or I wouldn't have come to you when I needed help. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I wasn't sure what I knew and what I didn't know, but that's good to know. Great.
He doesn't really strike me as the type of person that has a lot of secrets. And you're a seer, so I would say you probably know him better than most.
Yeah, good point.
So you guys are all basically put together, and you can head towards the temple where you will have to move through in order to reach the heart.
And we're going through various groups of people still, correct? Like,
yes.
It's not, yeah, great.
But now that you've started actually moving, you'll run into an occasional guard patrol, like Werner had seen. You'll run into more merchants moving around, servants, engineer types who are just doing general maintenance. Everyone just sort of parts the ways and moves past you until you eventually run into a priestess who immediately recognizes Krito. And she says, "Oh, Krito, you're back. They told me you were on a sort of journey."
Yes, glory of Apollo be unto you. I was undertaking a mission for the church, but I have come back and am still filling out reports. How are you? Would I have known this priestess, or do I just know the
her.
rank due to
We'll name her
iconography?
Kalina. So she is actually very highly ranked. So you definitely know her and have interacted with her. She is not a citizen, but she is in line to inherit a citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
And she is, depending on how high you are, she is very highly ranked in the priesthood. So is she above you or below you? How high are you in the priesthood?
So he's pretty high, but he's a public-facing priest, which means that I think for the sake of story, I think it would be more interesting if she were higher ranked than me, but she handles more internal things with the Church of Apollo.
So that's basically what I was thinking. She isn't particularly open, almost never leaves the god himself, lives most of her life in here. She lives and attributes to a monkly lifestyle, but you do know that she has been known to like come out of her shell and party when she's had a few.
Ah,
But most
good to know.
right?
Okay.
She's level-headed and she's very much a devotee of Apollo. She says, so your mission was a success then?
The mission has been completed. If it is a success, that would be determined by the Church of Apollo, because I have definitely found some findings which warrant more investigation.
Of course. If you have time, I believe Epilong would be available for a meeting if you want to come straight to the church.
Oh,
I just gently elbow Credo in the ribs.
I would like to take a meeting later, if that is possible. I do have some things that are of the essence right now.
Sure. Well, feel free to contact us. I will inform Epilong that you have returned.
Yes. Thank you so much, Priestess Kalina.
Thank you. And she turns and heads towards the temple. And what would you guys like to do now?
I think it sounds like now Credo's presence is about to be announced, and that completely contradicts our friends in town earlier, so it's best we move with haste. Let's see how far these vestments get us, and beyond that, we'll adapt as needed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm carrying a big container with like symbiote Cthulhu in it. So the faster we get rid of this thing, the better, essentially.
I do realize there seems to be a bit of a crisis of conscience with what's going on with the Church of Apollo, Creto, but is there no one here that might assist us in this matter? Surely not unleashing a terrible destructive weapon must be appealing to somebody on board this vessel. God City, sorry, praise be upon him, or whatever.
Bruce, I would like to use my character trait Well Connected, call upon the help of pantheists, and in this case, identify higher ranking members of the church that would be sympathetic, and I could go to them for something like this.
Okay. Well, you know that Epilong is definitely a hardliner. I believe he's the one that you guys said before you kind of suspected. Kalina, you know, she's very devoted, but she hasn't like super expressed hating the exiled. She's still chosen. She's a citizen. She believes that she is a noble, but she certainly doesn't seem like someone who'd support killing people. And we'll add another priest. We'll call him Perseus. And he is actually a lower ranking priest. He's always been someone that you can like lean on. And so he's not very high ranking, but he is someone who kind of gets the job done. He's a great assistant, as they say. Like he knows people that knows people. He has access to all the various quartermasters, and you know that you've always been able to trust him, even when occasionally you've questioned the church a bit.
Then immediately I'm going to Perseus.
Yes.
So I just wanted to clarify one thing. Since I, being a knight, wouldn't have been so conspicuous, I'm still dressed as a knight, not a priest, correct?
Yes, I believe that is what you said.
Yep.
Okay, groovy.
But I believe everyone else is currently dressed as a priest.
Got it.
Or
just
an attending, not necessarily like a priest.
Right.
Yeah, just something to drape over and something to blend in a little bit more. And I think Werner probably would have had to grab whatever was available soonest, and then you make do with that when we get back and try to see who fits
But you're not necessarily
what,
wearing all like the vestments of a high priest. Some of you
Right.
are
Just
wearing
clergy
like,
people.
yeah, like or like even servants of the church.
Yeah, like the lay people in the vestments.
Except Fowl, who is dressed as a high priest.
Highest priest
Is there a
Yes,
pope
priest.
ranking that we can get foul or?
So, especially for those of you that didn't get the description of Fowl last time, he's kind of like got almost like these like big bat wings where he almost walks like a gorilla, but he's got two smaller clawed hands. I just feel like those little hands are just like as we're moving. I guess it's an A, the blessing of Apollo.
I'm name it the
Counting
sun, the
rosary
sun,
as
the
they
holy
move.
sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Fantastic.
Exactly. I mean, if we're being honest, that's what it sounds like when you start talking about it, Koyo. So I mean, it's all the same.
So you guys beeline it to sort of the outer areas of the temple within the city. This is a higher level, so you're heading up farther into the ship itself. Werner has already been in this area, so it's pretty easy for you guys to navigate towards Perseus's room, where he is waiting and meditating when you arrive.
I knock on the room door.
You hear
Perseus?
oh, Crito. And the door immediately opens. He's still sitting on the floor, but you believe that he magically opened the door.
May we come in? We have important matter to discuss with you, and I indicate everyone who is with me.
Of course, Crito. Come in.
Mhm.
I don't recognize your friends from the church. Are they new here?
Sure. They are new.
He smiles, and you know that he knows you are lying.
Yeah, sure. The universal sign of I'm lying. Somebody saying, sure.
He knows you far too well.
Let me make some quick introductions. This is Werner, one of my closest friends. This is Galanti. He is a Knight of Gaul. We have Anemone, the person who decorates all the flowers for all of our festivals.
Oh, I have seen your flowers at the festivals, actually.
Exactly. This is who I go to. This is Koyos. He is a diviner of sorts, not the way that we do it. And then we have Zarin, who is also quite magical and knows how to open things. Okay, we need your help.
What can I do for you?
So Koyos has in his possession an item that we need to destroy by taking it to the heart of Apollo.
He waves his hand when you say that, and when he does, the door slams shut, multiple locks hit, and all the lights in the room turn off, and you just feel like a darkness of energy. And he says, "What did you just say?"
My rifle is immediately like.
Yeah, my one hand is open, and you can see like an open eye that's starting to glow some light, and my hands on my revolver just like, I don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
I also, sorry to join this little party, immediately rip off the vestments to have my cloaking kind of shawl as the top layer again. And Bruce, I've got a ranged weapon as well. Is that a pistol? Is that a rifle?
It's whatever you want it to be.
I think it's a pistol blaster, whatever that is in this world. And so that's in hand as well. And I'm ready to either vanish or fight, whatever's needed. But yeah, I'll join the arming themselves quick.
Sounds good.
Party. Being blind, I don't think that Zarin knows that something happened, but it does not change anything strategically for me at all.
Weirdly, it actually might be more powerful for Zarin because the lights turning off and everything was actually the magic leaving the room, which Zarin 100% recognizes.
Mm-hmm. I can see in the dark as a reminder to everybody, and you probably have seen hints of that already.
Oh, I think Koyos already made his major light blast off.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Got it.
Blink, blink. Blink.
I know this is all happening simultaneously, but as the rifle comes over and I do cock it, I just say, Koyos, can you show him? You showed all of us before.
All right, fine. Get my hand off the revolver. I reach in, turn off the light, pull out this pretty good sized container, and I say, look with your eyes, not with those little precious hands of yours. No. This is the darkness that will consume the world. And that's why we want to kill this thing. We have to do it here.
He still looks a little confused at your group, and he says, Krito, what is happening? You've brought some strange people here. This man, he's an exiled religious leader in the Church of Apollo. Carrying what he's saying is some sort of horrible weapon?
Yes.
What happened out there?
What happened was when we were asked to investigate Pathos, what Pathos was trying to do was prevent this thing, which we now have in our hands, from coming out and decimating all of Anesidora, chosen and exiled alike. So now we need to bring this into the heart of Apollo, which is the only thing powerful enough to destroy it. So I would not have come to you if it were not this urgent, and the other problem is the rest of the church would not understand. This is too important and beyond our factions to get worried about who's going to be looking at what. We just need to destroy this thing, and we need your help.
Well, I mean, it's a lot to take in, but if you believe it, then I have to trust in you. You have experience. You've helped me with all my training in the past. It's clear that your heart is in the right place. So whatever you need, how can I be of assistance?
We need this most direct path and as much access as possible to get to the heart of Apollo so we can destroy this item.
Of course. Then I will go with you and help you in any way I can. And he waves his hand again, and everything in the room starts to light back up. And as soon as he does, this sort of messaging system appears in Hades for those of you who can hear the magic and experience the magic. And it says that, what is his name?
Steve.
Helio has arrived back at the church, who you remember is the military guy who you met in the streets before. And Perseus says, oh, Helio's here. That could be an issue for you.
That is a huge issue for me, as he is looking for the report of what happened to Pathos right now. So we need to do this right now.
Of course.
I should put out a warning. Diamond Man is the man that I saw with the sun who tried to kill me and us. Did I not say that earlier? Sorry. It's hard to find a good place to interject that information. Sorry.
It makes you feel a little odd when you start saying it. Yeah, apparently there is a diamond perfect man that is like Helio but not Helio, that will be an obstacle to us at some point in this mission.
You see, he's big, very, very broad, has a very big weapon, and he's like, you won't get away with that. And then we're like, and he, I believe it's this Diamond Man.
Oh, so it's the same guy.
I believe so. Yes, very, very perfect face. Very, they just, but not right. I think it's him.
It's like when you look at those paintings and you're like, it's always looking at me. Like wherever I move, it's following. Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
We should get moving right away. And he
quickly.
stands and walks towards the door. And are all of you going to join him as he heads towards the heart, or does anyone want to break off?
I'd like to linger just a little bit behind, but trail the group, just in case I have to activate stealth mode and adapt to a change of plans.
Whenever we get to whatever I think is the last door before entering the heart area, I want to do something before we go through like the last door, if that makes sense.
Well, you haven't gotten there yet. So-
Mhm.
Is it safe to assume that the higher up we go, the less, like, there's no natural light, right?
No natural light in here.
So as it's progressing, I'm just turning more and more into lettuce, like limp lettuce. I'm just wilting and just becoming more and more useless to everybody.
I just start hitting you with that create light spell, like right, just like
Just like pouring water out of a canteen.
it's
It's
like a hydroponics person. It's like, no, we're gonna need you. Wake up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Where we last left our heroes, they were sneaking down this hallway leading towards the heart of Apollo. Helio was already there speaking to the priesthood, and they thought that was probably going to put a crunch on their time, so they headed towards the heart with the help of Perseus, an old friend of Crito. So as you head down this hallway, you hear alarms start to go off. You're not exactly sure what's going on per se, but those who have access to Hades, which is specifically mostly Crito and Zarin, I think, they get the message that people in the church are looking for Crito. It's not an emergency call per se. It's not like a wanted poster where everyone in the city is going to be out for you, but it does mean that people are now looking for you within the ship. You also get a sense that some of your other faces and attributes have been added to this, though the images that they have are not very good, especially thanks to Zarin distorting the shades that were watching you guys before. You don't get the sense that they know exactly where you are at this point. And Perseus says, oh, well, we have to keep a move on it. Keep going straight, right? Everything's good, right?
Sure.
Yeah, everything's great. And I'll take a quick glance at Zarin as if to say, can you do anything about that alarm?
Zarin will nod. It's a corridor we're walking down right now, right? Are there consoles or any sort of data ports or anything like that?
So technology in Anesidora, you don't need to like go to a keyboard or anything, but there are kind of like access points that you can just touch or feel, and your spirit enters Hades, and that allows you to manipulate and adjust things. So within the God City proper, there's definitely lots of access points that you can touch and try to access.
So as we're moving along, I will stop for a moment, again, wipe my hand across one of the panels and try to connect and try to at least turn off the alarms in this corridor here and the adjoining ones that might alert people near us.
So he touches the access point, and all of the shades in the Apollo go silent. So you don't have an active poster out for you, but some people have probably already seen it and started looking. And also, because you have such a heroic success, Zarin, I'll say a lot of other security systems and cameras have been shut off because of this.
Great, yeah.
While you're manipulating the data, Galanti, you actually hear through your communication device a voice that says, so, does this have anything to do with you? I can't hear B-Dave.
No, I'm
he's acting, performing.
True. I just very much look at it almost like there's a spider on my wrist and just go.
And I go, everything's fine. We're all fine here. Conditions are normal.
It's a boring conversation anyway, right? Yeah. I just sort of mouth to Werner. I'm like, is this your guy?
Do I recognize his voice?
Oh yeah, it's definitely Rasin, who you were just talking to a little while ago.
So I'll whisper that back. I'll nod and say, Rasin. Good talking. Yeah.
I just like, Werner, I haven't seen you in ages. Why are you calling?
Rasin, you mean?
No, I mean Werner. Like, I'm not supposed to know that you
gave
him.
Rasin goes across and says, well, I don't know who you are, but Werner did give this to me. But, you know, I am always looking to make a trade.
I've got some booze.
Yeah, we do have a fine assortment of spirits. Also, perhaps willing to kill anyone you name. Things of that nature.
Oh, well,
Skill trades, you might say.
you're very forward there.
That's it. Maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't need the booze. I gave that to Werner, so he doesn't need to offer me back.
Gotta
But
check.
I think, well, of course, I can return your little bracelet here. But also, if there's something else I could do, then we could say that you owe me one, as they say.
My name is Crito Apicius. Yes, I agree to owe you whatever favor is required. Yes, of course. On my honor as a priest of Apollo, praise be the light, or whatever.
Of course, of course. Now, what can I do for you?
And I just kind of put my hand over this thing, having no idea if it makes a difference whatsoever. And I just look at everybody, and I'm like, distraction? Would we like a distraction? I don't. My good idea was bringing Zare in. I am a two-trick pony, and you have.
I'm going to grab Galante's wrist and just uncover it and say, "We need to access the heart. We're a little short on time. Tell us what you need and tell us if you can help."
Now everybody knows. I don't think that was the okay.
He says, "Oh, well, that sounds wonderful. Well, tell you what, I can make a little distraction, get some guards away from that area, and in exchange, I need you to just permanently disable one of the storage lockers near the heart. And if you could just make sure that thing doesn't lock anytime soon, then I'm sure we'd all be on the same footing. Everything would be just golden. I could even give you this bracelet back."
Still holding Galante's arm, I look up at him. I whip back at Zarin.
Yeah, wait, no, don't agree yet. Wait, Zarin, my friend. And I physically like put it behind me and still have it covered. Like, I don't know if this matters. I just say, Zarin, Koyos has this uncanny ability to like attempt to commune with the fates and the spirits to like guide our path type thing. Is that something you do? Like, are all sages the same? I don't really. I must admit, I don't understand how you do anything. But do you have any insight into the future that might help us in this situation?
I do not look towards the future. I exist in the present moment.
That means no in weirdo.
I just bring the thing around and just literally just kind of hold it out in front of everybody.
I have a request. I grab your hand and I start talking, like shouting into the arm thing.
You don't need to raise your voice. Okay.
So what is the red light on? Meaning it's working? Is that hi?
All of this is transmitted. Yes.
Right into the okay. Hi, listen. This is Koyos. Hello, I'm Koyos. Diamond Man. Make sure Diamond Man gets nowhere near us. Diamond Man will kill me and everyone else. Make Diamond Man very far away.
Of course. Well, here's what we're going to do. I will transmit you the location of the locker that I need opened. You will, well, I can sense that you have a powerful sage with you. So if you will allow one of my shades to watch your progress and ensure everything goes according to plan, then once you've disabled the locker, I will ensure that you can make it to the heart. If for any reason I believe that you have betrayed me, then we'll have a problem.
I, Crito Ephesus, would never betray you, but should
What are
you
you
betray
doing?
us, I do have a man that might come after you in retribution and retaliation. But no, I priest of Apollo, guarantee that by my own word as a citizen, that yes, we will keep our end of the deal.
Wonderful. Well then, I hope you have a great trip, and I hope whatever the hell you need the Heart of Apollo for, you succeed. And Zarin, you feel the power of a shade trying to watch you guys. Are you going to try to resist it or let it in?
Is there any way I can restrict it?
Yeah. And you already made a pretty heroic success. So how would you like to restrict it?
I'd like to allow it to report back and to see the very broad strokes of where we're at, but I do not want it to see the details or like how I'm communicating to other spirits and devices, to know any of the codes or anything that would actually give this other individual the working knowledge of how to get back in here.
Okay, cool. It is restricted. So what would you guys like to get up to now? As the alarms are now silent, but there is a bit of a commotion around the ship.
How far away is this locker that we've just been transmitted the location of?
It's not very far, but the ship is huge, so maybe like a 5 to 10 minute walk.
Like, how close do I know I can get the party to the heart of Apollo?
On a normal day, you might have felt like you could get it there, but with all those alarms going off, you think that the security around it might have gone up.
Okay. Locker's probably the best bet. Live today, fight tomorrow. How are you all feeling?
I mean, could use like a lunch or maybe, but I'm good. I'm pretty good, yeah.
Okay, everybody else?
Galante, why were you using my name? What am I promised to do?
I mean, you heard what I heard. You know what I know. I just thought a prominent, upstanding citizen and like you would carry more cachet than me, a humble knight. And I didn't necessarily want my name on a recording that just broadcast throughout the vessel. They already know you're here.
That's fine.
Right?
That's fine. Just a little worried. Okay.
A follow-up question. This closet that he wants unlocked, it's not like biological weapons, horrible monsters, anything like that. Like, it was just goods and services, hopefully.
I guess we'll know when we unlock it.
Yeah, none of you really know that much the details of what might be stored there.
Bruce, how long does it take for me to actually have a vision? Like, is it like an all-night thing? Is it like 5-10 minutes?
I mean, it'd be like 5 to 10 minutes, but you'd have to perform a little ritual and then lie down.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to do that on the run.
Yeah, we're walking and talking, aren't we? Okay.
Would Krito be able to, just based on the layout and based on just being part of the Apollo Church, know a pretty good idea of what would be in that storage locker?
Not beyond backup power system type stuff, which Perseus confirms for you.
Would I be able to use secret knowledge to know exactly what's in that locker?
Yes, you may use.
I'm going to invoke that right now.
Per session. So you know that there is a material in this world called God shards that are basically pieces of the gods themselves, the outer shielding around the ship that are impenetrable and impossible to forge and change. And in this room, you know there is a forge. It is a device hooked directly into the heart of Apollo that allows you to reshape and remake essentially anything you want, as long as you have the proper plans and skills.
I see. Basically, he wants access to a mint. This thing can make money. God shards are currency.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
I will clarify, they're not just currency. They're also like all sorts of different devices and magical items and weapons. There's all sorts of stuff. The reason they are currency is because they are so useful for making all sorts of things.
Got it.
It just real checking in, just super quick here, since we seem to be caught in a sort of an Ouroboros loop here. We're not gonna give him this shard and he therefore becomes the Diamond Man. Like, we're not about to create the problem that we have to solve, right? That's not how this technology functions, correct?
I think he just... I don't know.
I don't think so. Back in my vision, with the Diamond Man, he seemed very intent on stopping us with violence. I get the idea that this individual doesn't really want to stop us. They just want to make a profit. I don't think they become the Diamond Man.
I hate to interrupt, but everybody knows we're here. So either we clean up one mess by creating another, Or if you think you can get to the heart without this, then let's try that. But we should probably decide fairly quickly.
Hey, Crito of Ephesus gave his word, so I feel like our path is set. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess when you put it that way, then I guess we have to do it because Crito of Ephesus gave the word.
Right.
As you guys are
locker.
discussing and arguing, you reach the door to this storage room, which now that you are here is clearly marked upon the door and the area around it that this is a high security forge.
We don't need to go in. We just need to unlock it. Zarin, can you do it?
Yes.
Okay, unlock that. Let's get to the heart because the fuse is well and truly lit.
So you're able to crack the lock. You're not as amazingly good as when you shut down the systems, and the door unlocks.
I'm going to inform the spirit that has been observing that the deal has been completed and dismiss it.
All right. You hear a voice over your link, Galanti, Rasin, who says, wonderful. I think everything is in order. And Zarin and Crito, you now sense through Hades that Crito has been spotted in another section of the ship, and guards are being called over there.
Oh, excellent. Point of clarification. He simply said unlock this room. We made no agreements to the contents therein. So what is in this room in case there's something we want to take as well?
Would you like to open the door?
I mean, I've been playing these games a long time, okay? And like when posed with a question like that, the answer clearly should be no, and therefore the answer is absolutely yes.
I feel like the answer is always yes. I only ask so you don't tell me, of course I don't open the door.
The response is no. The answer is yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Called doing the dumb.
Anemone understands me on an intrinsic level. I can't come this close and not at least peek. Yes.
So Galanti opens the door, it swings open, and inside you see basically large secured and like physically secured lockers that you can clearly tell have rods made out of a purple and greenish material that you recognize as God Shard. Just one of those rods would make a average chosen person like all the money they need for their entire life. One of those rods, we're talking like millions of dollars in value.
Follow-up question.
Werner.
Are these independently secured, or has Zarin already overcome the security mechanism sufficiently to open these drawers?
As I said, they are secured using physical locking mechanisms, not magical mechanisms.
I do look at Werner like, I mean...
Yeah, so Werner was like, I've already bit off more than I can chew. This is more than I bargained for, and was on his way then to the Heart of Apollo. And when that door opened, stopped and was like, a little peek.
Yeah,
and then just like,
ooh, God. Yeah.
Werner's the meme. He's the meme of the guy with the girl looking back at the other.
I'm sure it's already come across, but this is like opening a bank vault and seeing the gold lining the wall.
I kind of gently tap Galant on the shoulder and I say, hey, I'm just to kind of put this out there. A world-ending weapon needs to be destroyed before the time end, man. Also, Crito, this is kind of his God Shard room. Maybe ask if he's okay with you taking it.
Crito starts to try to open one of the lockers.
Okay, he's down.
Like
let's get Froggy, steal it and go.
Just one each. You know, that's fair compensation from all hail Apollo. You know, you're for saving the world. That's fair. Just one each.
Hold on.
Just one.
Gods above, who doth watch these old bones, if we are not meant to have this, please we atone. Also, let us know.
Okay, well, first
I'm getting nothing. Let's go.
Crito is going to try to open a locker, correct?
Yep.
All right.
I have not insignificant stealth. I'll try. This was my idea. So if it's gonna like blow my fingers off or something.
Okay,
like,
then Crito starts poking at it, and he's like, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, it's like I need someone else who can do this.
So you manage to kind of get it. You don't unlock like a huge amount of locker space, but you do manage to open it up and break out a rod. Now, to clarify, this rod is like 6 feet long. And like 1.5 inches in diameter. This thing is big.
It's a staff.
Yeah, it's more like a staff.
It's like a biblical rod. Got it. Okay, right. Okay, this is what I would say you all see me do when I take it out. I unhook my rifle, Morrigan, and I put that on this like cybernetic harness thing I got. It just like flips it over onto my back and like just hold the gun. I'm like, of course, I'm gonna split that with everybody. Like, yeah, I mean, we're all made. We just gotta like survive. That's all we gotta do. One last mission, and then we retire. I might buy a boat after this.
That rod actually can't be split or manipulated. There's only one way to split it, and you slowly look over in the corner and see the forging machine.
Well, to be okay, so to clarify, this thing is valuable, or it makes things that are valuable. Like, I mean, is it like it makes Scrooge's money bin and we just split the cash? Because that's what I thought.
You would have to find a buyer if what you're looking is to sell it and then split the cash.
I think I'm not understanding what it actually does. Like, is it just like a platinum bar and like that's kind of that?
Yes. So
Does it radiate magic at all?
yes. So basically, it is like substance that magic items are made out of.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, you have a big bar of useless platinum that if you found a super rich person, you could sell it to.
It's like potential energy versus kinetic energy.
Then you can also forge it into any number of things. Usually it's purchased and traded as shards, which is where people would take like a big rod and split it into lots and lots of little pieces, which are what the god shards are.
So it's like the difference between titanium and titanium chips.
Either way, I'm guessing that we don't have time to.
We don't.
Yeah, no, we don't.
The manufacturing
Yeah.
process.
All you guys are like, money.
And Werner, as much as he likes money, has done enough heists and jobs to know that it's not worth dying over. So does the math in his head and just starts to leave again, and it's like, you guys coming with? We don't have. I'm sorry.
Very much do take this one, and I do like have it holstered. I'm like, well,
Okay.
I will split it on my honor as a knight.
Great.
Yeah,
Let's go.
So you guys leave carrying this rod on your back. As you go, you now have gotten to the exterior area that the heart of the god is stored in. You've now passed what might be considered like regular security and entered more into like an engineering style security, where the goal is not to keep people out because they might be thieves, but to protect people because, oh my god, just being near this thing will kill you. There are like massive warning signs everywhere you go, and you reach an outer door that Zarin is very easily able to open. And inside, you can see more of this like light shining from deep within the god. And also there are protective suits all around the room that some or all of you could conceivably put on. And lots of warning signs and warning labels that anything beyond this point is incredibly dangerous to exposure.
What kind of exposure?
So in Anesidora, there is a special kind of thing called the light of God that is like radiation, but not exactly, because you can see it and it will like burn and tear you apart. But it is the light of God, and being exposed to it will kill you.
So if I have an environmental resistance to radiation, gas, and toxins, should I still put a suit on, or should I just show off?
Yeah, you should put a suit on.
Ah, boo.
Which means we should all put a suit on.
Yeah.
I was miming it. I'm ready to go.
I'm with Koyos. I'm suiting up and zipping up and whatever. Yep.
Yep. Also suiting up.
So this is the last door, right?
Yep.
This is it.
This is your time.
I have a terrible idea. In storyteller, please feel free to override me for the sake of the narrative that you're saying.
Sure.
But is there anywhere that I could like hide to get into Overwatch to like cover this door? Like if anyone comes down the hallway while they're doing what needs to be done inside, I could just start blasting.
I mean, there's certainly like a rim around the door that you could definitely take cover behind in looking into the hallway. But there's also like control devices and stuff around the room if you're thinking more like shoot when someone comes in the door versus watching the hallway.
You wanted high ground, though. Is that what you're saying?
Or, I mean, ideally, like up in the rafters, but if even not that I mean that it's like, because here's kind of like a squeeze zone, you know, that I can kind of like hold people that are coming if you know, when the Diamond Man shows up, maybe I can make sure he doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
And they probably don't have a suit for Fowl.
Yeah, Fowl is
no,
included.
Oh no!
I'm like, oh, I can't leave him out here like this. He's magic resistant, but I don't know that helps him. So, I would just say, you all go on. If you hear blasting, move quickly.
Cool.
And I do kind of try and, like, you know, around the corner, like, hide a little bit, but it's like, essentially the first time I see a face, I'm blowing it off, like,
Yeah.
out here in the hallway.
So you grab basically cover behind the door entrance and watch the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for the group. We're basically, this door is now open? Is that right, Bruce?
The door into the inner area is not open yet. The door to this space is open.
Got it. Okay. And but after the next door is the heart.
No. So
okay.
Right now we've got basically an outer door that enters kind of like the standard safe work area where you get your suits and you can access computers and stuff.
Got
The
it.
next room is the unsafe work area where you have to wear a suit and you can access all the different parts of the machine itself. Then there will be a final door that enters the heart, and anyone or anything who enters it is almost guaranteed to die.
Great.
I don't suppose any of the rest of you have communication devices, right? I didn't make that up. It was on
I
the
do.
sheet.
I have one right here. You gave it to me earlier.
No, that is actually the one that you gave away.
They took yours, Koyos. I only had 2. Right, so I only have the one, but I have no way to let you know if I'm in trouble if you can't hear the sounds of blasting. That's all.
My question to the group then is, we're close to the heart right now. As we move forward, are these doors going to lock behind us and seal us in?
Not automatically.
I have a communication question.
Sure.
If this is possible, you tell me. If I weave some sort of floral necklace crown around Galanti, would those flowers around him be able to talk to the flowers on me since they are of myself?
Fortunately, normally I would be like, yeah, you could probably create some sort of vine that allows you to communicate, but the vine would not be protected from the light, which couldn't make a direct connection.
Makes sense.
Well, we got 2 seers. I'm sure the gods will let one of you know if I'm in trouble.
Question in this area, because we're dealing with the light of God, are there machines that will, you know, with mechanical hands and stuff that can move things around? Because I'm assuming that would be that would make sense in this place.
Yeah, you can definitely use your magic to call upon magical machines and hands in the unsafe zone.
Got it. Then immediately Credo is going to try to access panels being Hades attuned and immediately find the machines with hands in order to like move things so that we are not in danger.
You will have to be inside wearing a suit to interact with them.
So let's keep moving. Let's keep
Okay.
going in then.
I'm at this point kind of like chest hugging it like it's a football, and I'm about to make like the 10-yard dash to the end zone with this bad boy. I imagine because of all the separations and doors, there's one last blast door to the heart of the thermonuclear reactor, essentially, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna football run it as fast as I can to that reactor.
So the next thing that happens is now that you're all in your suits, you open the first door of entering the unsafe area. You 5 stay inside, Fowl and Galanti stay there, and as the door of this unsafe airlock closes and you wave goodbye to Galanti through the reinforced glass.
Before we do that, sorry to interrupt.
Too soon.
Stop a moment. Is it possible before we do that for Zarin to look to Galanti? It occurs to me that the God Shard may be of use. May I take it with us?
Yep, I'm like, I just like very much slide it off and hand it to them because I'm like, pending how this goes, you all make it to keep my share.
All right.
It will be returned to you.
Zarin, any chance one of those eyeballs, one of these lovely birds, can I get a message to you through one of them?
Yeah, I'll leave one of my orbs. They're actually attached right now to the spine of his back, and he like reaches back and removes one of the orbs and gives it to you.
That is off-putting. And I just kind of like sit it next to me, and I'm like, well, if you hear gunplay, you know what to do.
We will know.
Yep. And I just
All right.
stay ready.
And now you stay inside, and the doors start to close. And as they're closing, you can see soldiers turning the corner and moving towards you guys. Galanti gets the first shot.
I'm like, double time.
Wait, so they're on his side and we're
Yeah.
protected,
Yes.
but the doors are still
Yeah.
closing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm one with the Force. The Force is one with me.
The hallway
No.
going out. Galanti is ready, watching the hallway.
Yeah.
You've been getting deeper into space, and as the doors blocking you from Galanti, who's watching your back, you see the soldiers moving around the corner, and they start firing as Galanti shoots.
I would just say that I have foul trained that he just covers me for anyone who gets close because I have a long gun. So, you know, if they get close to me, I can't do anything. So that's when he does his thing. I'm going to keep him close. Yeah, let's start blasting.
And the doors close. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
really quick for Galanti. Before this fight, we're not going to use like turns and movement and damage. Instead, we're going to do what I call a cinematic combat.
I like what this is. Narratively, I said I was aiming for the head. I'm not. I'm shooting the wound. I'm like hitting them in the thighs and stuff. I'm just like trying to block bodies, have people like screaming, begging for help. Like, I mean, it's maliciousness.
Okay.
Sure.
So as you're shooting to wound, what happens is you're not losing the fight, you're not winning the fight, but people are getting injured, and what's happening is they're just trying to put covering fire down while they drag their wounded allies back behind walls in order to get cover.
Good.
That's where we are right now.
Excellent.
The other
I'll take
five
it.
of you,
take
you watch this fight happen, the shooting happen. He's pinned really bad. Foul is like sort of watching. He's like behind the door. No one's seen him yet, waiting to just take out that first guy that turns the corner. And the rest of you, the door that was not clear and is like very solid opens up. And you can see before you arms and machinery and all these things moving and swinging around. And then at the center of it is this thing that seems to be made out of like an incredibly dense opaque shield. All across, it's probably like 100 feet. So you're exiting this small kind of like airlock to enter this huge chamber about 200 feet across with a 100-foot opaque sphere in the middle, just sort of floating in the air above this huge space. Then there are, from 4 different directions, these walkways that go out to this giant opaque thing radiating light. And at the end of each of these walkways is an access point that you can see. And in addition, like I said, there are these huge crane-like structures reaching all around from every direction. You also notice in this room about 10 other scientist engineer types, all also wearing protective gear, who look over at you, and a woman comes over and says, "Hi, I wasn't expecting anyone right now. What can I do for you? Is there an emergency?"
In a panic, I want to cast emotional influence and just say, we're at DEFCON 9, and I need everyone to just be cool.
All right.
And let me do a thing.
So basically, you just put your hands in fate. You didn't get any natural prowess or anything, but just something about your passion, the way that you just completely believe in total conviction.
Blind conviction.
It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. What can we do for you?
I need access to the heart of Apollo, and I need to be alone. If you see the Diamond Man, you tell him, hey, go away. And then that's all I need.
It seems like she was completely sold. And the more he talks, the more she's like, you can see through her like shielded mask, just this more and more she's like, wait, I don't know about this.
Don't worry. I'm being silly. You know, when Apollon was like, hey, I want you to throw this in the heart. I was like, don't worry. Do you want me to make it weird? And he goes, always. So look, I'm just doing my job. I'll be gone in a few minutes.
Wow, I've never seen anybody talk themselves out of a critical success.
That is a first.
Look, I am famous for walking into a group of cultists and going, "Hello, fellow cultists," and botching everything. There's no rules after that.
I love it. It's
Well,
entertaining.
you did manage to successfully talk yourself out of a critical success due to a lack of cultural understanding, as I mentioned.
Well, we can't have nice things.
So she's
Yep.
not going to do anything right away per se, but you guys, those of you who are attuned to Hades and magic, can sense she's like reaching out and reaching all over to try to find help for someone to.
Credo steps in and says, "Please pardon the person who I have hired. They are not good at talking. They're here to do a thing."
Oh.
You see-
got it.
She just looks at you, and you can sense in Hades an emergency signal go out.
Would I be able to use my social skills to try to convince her otherwise, even though the alarm had just went out?
Sure. She's like, okay, but you do feel that the emergency signal disappears and gets canceled.
Mhm.
And she says, "Oh, sir, I had no idea that you were coming. I apologize for everything." And now you feel a new signal as she reaches out to all the engineers. When the emergency signal went out, was very nervous and looking around, and she sends out another signal telling them all that you are a citizen and you have come to inspect the heart. And everyone sort of calms down and gets back to work.
They can stay here, right? Like if we do something, is there a chance that something bad is going to happen to these people? Or like should we get them out, essentially, is my question.
You don't think the heart will like explode or anything, but it could be dangerous when you open it to people in this room.
Okay. How far away can I make people hallucinate? Can I make these people hallucinate that there's something going wrong and they have to leave?
You need to be about 30 feet, and this room,
Oh, it's too big.
it's too big. You could get some people near you, but not the
Ugh.
whole room. Meanwhile, in the hallway,
Oh.
Oh,
Galanti is blasting. Turning the corner, Helio comes out. He has a huge bow that you see has kind of like a device running along the line of the bow. Pulls back an arrow, and when he shoots it through, it just speeds it up a huge amount as it blasts straight at you.
Do I have time to say something?
Yes.
Just to Zaren's eyeball, I'm like, Helio's here.
How are you going to avoid this shot?
The moment I looked at him, I completely sized it up and I just knew. And it's like just the absolute bare minimum. Like, I mean, because I'm drawing down on him, and as it's coming toward me, it's literally just like parts of my hair as I'm just like shooting back at him.
Great. Yeah. So it's just a quick change of your neck. The arrow shoots right over your shoulder, and you just blast at him. So you get a good shot on him. It doesn't kill him or majorly injure him, but it does kind of blast off of his armor.
With a heroic success, can I try something else?
Well, this is cinematic combat.
Right, this is cinematic. I'm actually not going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot the bow.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell, "We are here on Apollo's will. And if you would just listen, I will tell you everything. You know, you should have had me dead to rights right now, but by his hand, your arrow flew astray. Perhaps we are not enemies after all."
The arrow or the bow clatters across the ground behind him. He stands up towards you, just sort of standing in the open, like you could completely take a shot at him. And he says, "I'm listening," and starts walking towards you.
All right. Well, I mean, we don't have to belay the scene, but I mean, but if you say to the eyeball, I say, "Still buying time, buying time."
All right. So we're now going to be in regular rounds, just so I can keep track of everyone.
I will just say one last thing before we transition. It is my intent to tell him everything with no attempted deception whatsoever.
Amazing.
Like from the beginning. Just bam. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Let's hope he believes it.
Let's hope.
So starting with Werner, you're first in turn order.
So I don't have any magic attunement. I'm wondering what has created this pause and everything, right? I'm looking, my group is kind of on one side, these workers are on the other. right? Is that kind of the scene that I'm?
So yeah, this is one of those like industrial areas where it's a huge drop down, huge ceiling up. There's like walkways that go all around it, these giant mechanical arms, and the workers are kind of scattered around the room.
And we can see the heart at this point, this
Yeah.
sphere, right?
The heart is basically like 100-foot sphere contained in a semi-opaque like shielding that is slightly radiating light with access points.
Okay, so I'm gonna just take a couple slow, unthreatening steps towards this engineer and head towards Koyos, and who's still holding our little football, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna slowly just put a hand behind Koyos and just urge him towards the heart. And just like no sudden movements, no like, do you know what I mean? And like as if to remind everybody, it's a miracle that there's a stalemate right now. Let's take advantage.
Wonderful. You just push him through and keep everyone kind of calm. Zarin, you're actually up next.
So we see the final door across the walkway, and then
No sudden movements.
Yeah. Are there any technicians near that door?
Yeah, there's probably one worker kind of on the walkway headed to it.
Kolos, you have the container, correct?
Yeah.
You need to walk.
He is
You need to
slowly
get in there.
walking towards the access point.
Okay, well, I'm going to approach the access point looking back at Kryto. You're going to continue to work with them to make sure that they think that this is some sort of official inspection or some sort of like, okay.
So my plan is for Credo, now that he's talked to them and she's summoned all of the engineers to come gather around because there's a citizen, I'm going to start walking away from the heart. I'm just going to use my status for people to come and attend me while I talk about what I'm expecting out of them, while you all get to do whatever it is. So you're not dealing with as many people.
Appreciate we're at that stage of the anime, like Record of Lodoss War, where just like one by one, we're like, I got this. You go. You know, like...
So then to answer the question, I guess I'm walking across the walkway and I'm headed towards that access point. I assume, Kolos, you're headed that direction as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anemone and Werner, what are the two of you doing?
I'm hanging back a little bit because I don't know exactly what you all have done before this, and I just know that I don't want to be too close to that. And Koyo seems a little he's eager to dip his toe in the water, so I figured I'll let him.
I think Anemone feels essentially useless in this situation. There's no plant life for her to kind of connect to. I think she would stick around the people in the odds that like there needs to be some sort of mass hallucination.
That's kind of perfect. Is it possible for Anemone to be next to Credo in case that needs to happen? So yeah, like immediately, like you know exactly what you're expecting. That's perfect.
Yep, great.
So then Werner, as we start walking away from your general area and you're keeping an eye on everything, Zarin's going to look to you, and they, through the mask and everything, you can see their eyes and they're still like cleared over. No matter what happens, when the door is open, it must close again. Do you understand?
Just a silent nod.
And then we're going to go.
All right. Next in order is Anemone. You wanted her to create a hallucination, you said?
I think I'm going to wait like until Credo gives me the signal if needed, because they're all kind of, I think, flocking around him. And I don't think they need a distraction yet. I think they're kind of involved. He's a citizen. They're listening to him. However, if he kind of like gives me any hint that they are like something is going wrong or whatever, I'm there to kind of distract.
I will just slightly whisper to her, like, I will tap you, but also use your best judgment. If you even sense they're about to go off, do it.
Important point of clarification. At any point has Zarin relayed to them the fact that I'm fighting for my life out here? Oh, I guess you guys saw when the doors were closing. So you know. Okay.
They saw, and they know. You can't hear because of all the heavy shielding, but you know Galante's out there fighting for his life.
Is there a way we can just go back out there? Like, can we escort out these people and just kind of make our way out?
Shield the door and open it. It's
Why
not
don't we
locked.
just do that? What if I just do that? Can we just escort these people out of here?
Yeah, so you can just sort
We
of
can.
call over and say, we need you outside if you want.
Because also, Credo, they could be hostages.
I also realize if we're in suits, you can't do the thing that you need to do. So let's do it. Let's bring them out there. So in case you need to, yeah, let's.
Yep.
So the plan is they'll attend me, but they'll be outside.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
You and Credo are gathering people over, walking them towards the other place. And I have an event card.
Could I just ask one quick
Yes.
question before this inevitably good thing? I mean, I'm sure this like uniquely
Can't go wrong.
positive thing is
Of
about
course.
to happen. Didn't Credo have a homie that was physically escorting us here? Did I miss what happened to that guy?
No,
Where's
Perseus
that
is with
guy?
you guys. You can always.
Okay.
He can help them escort people out if you want.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Since he's helping them.
Galanti, I do think you get a heads up though that these people are coming out. Like maybe it's just like a speaker off of the orb. You hear that conversation and you hear
Okay.
that last little piece of it as you're doing whatever social manipulation you might need to do back there.
Perfect.
Anemone and Perseus are escorting people out, and I have an event. So what happens is those with Hades attunement can sense a shielded door on the other side of the heart opening. And you can't see anything because it's literally on the other side of the heart, but you sense incredibly powerful magic. All around the room, all of these various arms start to turn and are actually moving towards you as you feel this like gaze falling upon you. And walking around the side, you see Epilon, the high priest of Apollo, walking along the catwalk. And behind him is Kalina, the high-ranking priestess of Apollo that you talked to earlier.
There's a red alert that is flashing on the orb now with you, Galanti. Yeah.
Next up in order is Crito.
So I'm with Anemone and
Yes.
Perseus, like escorted, and then I get that sense of Kalina and High Priest Epilon are there, and so he's going to just continue escorting people out because even though he realizes his superiors are there, these people first.
Okay.
Get them out.
Continue escorting people out. Koyos, you are drawing closer to the heart of Apollo.
So I'm drawing closer. I'm getting the sense that with all the activity happening, something else is going on. For the sake of speed and security of the mission, how impossible would it be once I run through to like shot put this thing directly into the heart of Apollo?
Impossible. There's
Yeah.
a shielded door that you have to open.
Okay.
Are the Archpriest wearing a suit?
Yes.
Is there like a big old red button to hit to open the last blast door before I gain access?
No, it is actually a physical lock. It has multiple large physical locking mechanisms. It is not easy to open, and it cannot be opened magically.
Okay. I guess then I don't know if I'm alone, but I guess then if I just need to get this to the ball of fire, I just have to start opening these locks manually.
Yeah, I think Zarin is next to you.
Well, they're physical locks, but that doesn't mean that they can't be manipulated, correct?
Yeah. We'll start with Koyos.
Okay.
So this is an incredibly difficult lock to open. You try to grab at it. It's heavy, it's hard, it's rough. This is a lock that is meant to be secured. Now, you can give in to hubris, but you have to offer something up. Or you can let Zarin take a crack at it.
I am going to, especially with what's coming, make myself very vulnerable and give up my hunter revolver. We can say I hubris this by putting the bullets in just shooting the lock, to ensure this door opens up.
Okay, he's going to try to shoot the lock, basically. You try to push it so much, you bash it with the gun, you shoot it with the gun, you just keep pushing, and eventually you manage to get it open. And I'm just going to say, since you were giving into hubris and Zarin is there, he also is able to get in there and help you with it as you push this lock open. So the door to the heart is opening now. As it slides open, you can see this light just shimmering out. It's hard to look at. It's like looking straight at the sun. You can't even look at it. And we are moving into a new round. First up is, the High Priest.
No.
Right.
Oh, great.
So,
I'm sure they're okay with this. They're clapping.
Yeah, the high priest lifts his
Renaissance.
arm, and just in unison with his movement, you see one of the huge clawed mechanical hands reach down and grab at Koyas, who now has to try to avoid being grabbed by this thing. And
Oh, but he's
Zarin-
frail.
I'm a weakie. I'm a little weakie.
Just shoot it. Oh.
All right, so this is also very difficult to dodge out of the way of. Would you like to give in to hubris again or get grabbed?
I'll give it to hubris. Why not?
What do you think is going to happen if you fail to fight back against this clawed machine? You manage to almost wiggle your way out of this thing, but you fall onto essentially a lower platform. It's a long fall. It hurts.
Does he drop the container before he falls?
Yeah, he'll drop the container. He does not get seriously injured, but the container is on the ground, except Zarin, and you succeed.
Yeah, I think the orbs are like hovering, and like he sidestepped it, but it's very, very close as it like slashes past him.
And also, as it slashes past him and knocks Koyos to a lower platform near the light, you are able to grab from Koyos the canister. All right?
I'm holding onto the canister. The door is open now.
The door is partially open. You are holding the canister. And next up is Krito. You and Anemone have safely gotten the scientists into the room, and you can close it. Are any of you going to stay in the room with the scientists, or are you all staying in the inner reactor?
I think I'm going to stay in the room with the scientists because now that we've gotten them out, I'm expecting that I have to talk to them. Like, I didn't just get them out. Like, I'm just a distraction at this point to keep them occupied.
You're in the chamber that is now closed.
Yes.
Okay. And Anemone, are you also leaving the chamber and closing it?
I think I would maybe leave to go see if Galanti is okay. She
Alright.
can only affect living things, so I mean, like the god room, she's kind of just like, I don't know, I can't really do anything in there.
Both of you are now in the secured airlock with the scientists.
Right. So I think
Yes.
she would go back to the even before that one to see if Galanti, like maybe take off the suit.
Yes.
Right. So Galanti, you're up next in the order. Helio is approaching you as he's talking.
I would just say, just for the sake of time, I would just say, again, it is my intent to blab everything. So as it fades back to me, I'm just like, and then all the blackness came out of the canister, and there was a druid woman that told us to put it back in, and we had to bring it here to destroy it in the heart of Apollo. Otherwise, a terrible weapon will be unleashed, causing thousands, possibly millions of casualties. And I know that is not the will of Apollo, literally, because he's appeared to us multiple times, but a corrupt section of your church, sir, wishes to unleash this terrible fate on the world, and I cannot abide that.
Okay. So he just sort of looks at you and he's like, we have to make sure this happens. And he starts to walk. He's going to walk in the room. First, he walks past Foul. Does Foul attack him?
No, I just whistle a little bit where he falls back by my knees, and I don't drop my gun, but I do stop pointing it at him because I don't know if this is a trick or not.
He also kind of like watches you as you go past, and as he passes you, you do see that he very clearly has some sort of like energy pistol thing strapped to the back of his waist that he could have easily drawn at any moment, but he walks past you, and he goes
was gonna
to the
die
door,
hard this thing, yeah.
yeah, and opens it. And inside of it is Credo, Anemone, and the 10 scientists from inside.
I immediately yell, I told him everything!
Oh, I think Credo's a little startled. Like, what? You told him? I'm like everything, and then
No,
he immediately sees
literally all
Helio.
Well, so since I see this and there's no threat to Galanti, I'm just gonna go back in the other room with everybody else because that seems to be where the action is
Okay,
happening
great. You
now.
shuffle all these scientists out and then
Yeah.
close the door. And as you're shuffling all the scientists out, Helio goes in and gets ready to move into the chamber with you guys. Galanti, are you going to stay out with the scientists or move in with your team?
Do I have any insight of these machines or everything else going wrong inside?
You have a little bit of insight because Zarin has been sending you messages.
Then I will come in, but I don't have a suit on, so I guess I have to do however long it takes to put that
Oh,
on.
yeah.
But
So
I'll
Helio
come
also has to put on like a suit.
Yeah.
While
Hang
he's-
on, no, wait, no, we're gonna like hang on this. We're gonna
Can you still see the faces through these suits?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can see that beautiful diamond complexion
Yes.
on Helio. Okay.
When he comes
just
in.
making sure.
But it's
Okay,
going to take them a minute to get in there.
Okay.
I was told it was a different Diamond Man. I mean, I cannot be held responsible for any
Next up is
inescapable fate.
Werner, who you can now see Koios has been knocked down to a lower platform, being exposed to the light coming out of the door. Zarin is holding the device, getting ready to kind of open the door as the light is peeling out of it. There are these two priests coming towards you guys, and Werner, you're kind of standing. You're actually kind of alone right now because all the scientists and everyone else left. So where are you headed?
So the door to the reactor itself, it's completely analog. There's nothing electronic. It's not continuing to open. It's not starting to close again.
Yeah.
It's just like a big vault door that has to be manually pulled. Is that right?
Yes.
Zarin, what are you doing at this point?
You can see their intention. They're going to fulfill the goal of getting this canister inside of it. However, they look back towards you.
Great. Because I don't have a magic attunement. Can I see the priest at this point? The archpriest moving in?
Yeah, they are now, like, they're walking around the platform. They're probably about as far from you as the reactor is, but on a different platform.
And what is that claw doing?
The claw is trying to attack Zarin now.
Still, okay. All right.
Oh, also, I want to note that the high priests, their uniforms, everyone else is wearing sort of like a standard issue, like white rad suit, essentially. Whereas the high priests are wearing this like regalia with these huge masks that come up, and you can clearly see their faces and all of these symbols that are on their very fancy, nice suits.
Okay. So Werner's going to take all of this in and go, damn it, and start sprinting towards Zarin. And I'm actually going to reach for the rod on their back.
Oh, okay. Well, what are you going to try to do with this rod? Because that'll affect the difficulty of this roll.
Well, the claw is still reaching for Zarin. Is that correct?
So you're going to try to like stick the rod in the claw, kind of?
Yeah, to try to jam it almost and let Zarin, let them get inside. Yeah.
Would you like to give in to hubris?
Of course I would.
I mean, I knew you would. I knew you would.
Yeah, of course I would.
Final room.
Always give in to hubris.
So you
Hubris
what I've
works
taken from
every
this.
time. Yeah.
100%.
never been a problem. So you managed to rush forward. You grab the rod from Zarin, and how would you like to deal with this claw?
Through hubris is how I'd like to deal with it. So
So you can make some risky moves.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna actually grab this and kind of unsheath it while Zarin's trying. Zarin, are they still trying to make it through the door? Is that kind of? Yeah. So I'm gonna do it in a way that doesn't hold them back. Do you know what I mean? So they kind of see where I'm going with this, and just try and in one move spin and jump and lodge it into the claw as it's coming down, and hope that works. And if I can, in a way that even though there's momentum, that it stops me from joining Koios down below.
Sure. So you rush up, kick off, grab this thing, and the claw tries to squeeze down on you, but when it does, it hits the rod and it kind of buckles because this rod is such a heavy-duty material.
Because I knew you need a forge, guys.
Yep. And the whole thing just sort of actually crunches backwards as the machine tries to crush this thing. And you manage to land right light on your feet on the walkway.
Sweet. Is the rod gone now?
It honestly probably clatters down where Koios is.
And so Werner, just under his breath to finish this off, watches it go and just, such a shame.
And next in the round is actually Zarin.
He pulls off his helmet.
Oh,
And
no.
the two orbs shoot out around him as he holds the canister in his hand. And having that connection with Galanti, we never truly settled on my payment. This is it. And I step into the heart of Apollo with the canister.
And as he speaks, walking, almost as soon as he pulls this hood off, you see his skin start to like peel away.
You get me misty-eyed right now.
And he walks in, and as he walks in, you see like pieces of him kind of like fall apart as he's just absorbed in fire and disintegrates. And
Wait. That wasn't the deal. That wasn't the deal. Like banging on the door.
As everyone looks on, completely just dumbfounded. And Koyas, you look up and see this happen. You're lower down now, and this door is still slightly open.
It was supposed to be me. The gods told me this was my day. To let these old bones die, not them. Fine then, gods, I defy you at least once. I can't bring you back. But maybe I can do something. And I want to perform a miracle,
Okay.
pushing with all my might.
Can I step in here
Yeah.
with this?
Of course,
Because
yeah.
there is a purpose to all of this, and maybe that miracle works into this.
Sure.
What Zarin was trying to effect was a merger that would allow him to take the energy and power of Apollo and disperse it outward, so that those who are forgotten on the edges of the society surrounding this godship are given what they've been denied for so long, which is the power and the energy that has been sequestered away by the rich and the powerful. And if there's some way that through the network of interlaced Hades tech, if that can be spread outward using maybe the miracle and the sacrifice and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah. So you reach out trying to push this miracle, and Zarin feels this like energy as he leaves their body and becomes a shade and a spirit. And in this form, you all feel this push out of magical energy. And for those who don't know, there are like electrical systems and cabling and hookups that have all been built over hundreds of years all around this god city, but they are shut down or like controlled so that the people of the god city can always ensure that they have power and control over how this energy is distributed. But you, through your power and your miracle, actually damage and destroy these locking mechanisms that hold everything in place. And you can just feel the flow of power going out throughout the god city and the surrounding areas.
As I'm performing the miracle, and I'm saying my chant, kind of like what I said to Crito last session. When the darkness chokes the horizon and the light all but fades, Zarin, become the sun. And like as I clasp my hands, light just booms out of my body, igniting the miracle. And with that, I proceed to run the hell away from the living ball of death.
All right. So this power and energy pushes out. This door is still hanging open, but Werner, you were standing right there. I think it's a pretty easy thing to say that you can slam this door closed and hit the locking mechanism if you want to.
I recognize what's happening and I watch what's happening and I recognize the tragedy of it before, which is why I went for the rod because this was clearly our last ditch effort at doing this thing. As the arm buckles and Zarin goes in and this happens, I'll throw a shoulder against that door and try and latch it shut again.
You manage to slowly push it closed as Koyos pulls himself back up to the platform. The shielded doors open and Galanti, Anemone, Crito, and Helio are all there walking in. And the high priest is walking towards you guys. You feel magical energy radiating out of him as he tries to sort of deal with this huge, massive energy that Zarin has brought in. And instead, he just like grabs these huge claws all throughout the building, reaching towards you, and he yells out, "What have you done? You fools! You idiots!"
Crito sees that the high priests are coming towards us, and I think Crito, in memory of Pathos, and then also understanding innately what Zarin and other people were doing to try to spread the light of Apollo to everyone else, tries to secure the door so that the priests who are in power don't leave. And he immediately turns to Perseus and Helio and says, "We need a new order. and the two of you have to be it, and just make sure that Kalina and Apollon don't leave and go with the heart of Apollo.
Helio nods to you, looks over at Galanti, and then looks over at the two high priests and pulls out his pistol and starts firing. And Galanti, would you like to fire with?
He's shooting at the priest? I would, but I'm once again not trying to kill them. I'm trying to puncture their suits. I want the light of Apollo. I want Apollo to be able to have his own revenge on these people. Just like breaching their contamination.
So he just starts firing at them. You pierce their suits. And I would say probably after you feel like their suits are properly pierced, you can place your hand on him and say, it's enough. As they're lying on the ground, yelling out, you can see their bodies start to like lose form under the power, and you leave the chamber walking out.
I was joking earlier about the A or whatever. Again, Galanti does not worship Apollo. He worships the fates.
Mhm.
But if there is some hand motion that would be sacred to Apollo, I do it as I watch them die.
Of course, I think like a circle makes sense.
But, you know, exactly. Yeah, right.
Yes. So that brings us into our epilogue. So you have been successful. The two highest ranking priests within the Church of Apollo have been killed. However, Helio and Perseus advise you, don't have to take it, that this all gets put under the rug. The only people that are really aware of it are you guys. The scientists don't even really know exactly what happened, and you can tell them there was an industrial accident, and that's why you came there.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after, things are relatively business as usual. There is a determination about power structures within the city, and my first question is, Credo, are you going to make a play to become the new high priest, or are you going to try to go out and help the people instead?
I think Credo continues to be a face, but it's important that Helio and Perseus balance each other out to take over the church. But he also needs to do one important thing, and he sends a 6-foot-long gift to his friend Werner with the message, "With love, Credo."
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
So before we get into Werner, I will mention that those of you who feel the power of Hades and magic can sense wherever you go within the city, it's small against the great power of Apollo, but there is a power of Zarin there within the shades and the spirits, ensuring that the power flows out from Apollo and that it's not contained. Zarin, is there anything you'd like to add to what you do as a shade now?
I will say that, after this is all over, I don't know where Galanti ends up, but maybe it's in an inn or a tavern or something like that, and you're having a drink, and in one of your bags or satchels, you hear a modem.
I was definitely going to say I keep the orb, so it would make sense if I hear, and then I would just like very carefully like fashion it into like a necklace that I just keep on and never explain.
Sounds nice. So Galanti keeps a necklace to remind him of Zarin that also probably holds a piece of his soul, just a tiny sliver left behind after the miracle. And Galanti, what do you do now that you've seen the power of the gods?
Believe it or not, all this interference from Apollo was all well and good, but I just kind of like run my hand over those shears and the silver string that I have on my breastplate. But I'm like, but who really won the day was fate. So if anything, this is like strengthened Galanti's faith more out of all of it. Even the gods are subject to fate. I would probably stay in the area just for the next little while, making sure there was no retribution against Creto or any like in any religious movement, there's always zealots that like might mysteriously vanish under odd circumstances. and you know, and then one day just ease on out into the woods with Fel, on to the next thing.
Great. And then Werner, you're hanging out in some local inn somewhere when a mysterious package arrives from Credo. It's large, and you pop it open and see a 6-foot rod of pure god shards.
Well, I got to figure out a way to make this more manageable is what I need to do. I would say Werner's probably gone. He's probably disappeared, but at some point in the future, hopefully not too distant future, the rest of the living group receives a much smaller parcel of just a single god shard. Now, I'd like to clarify, it is not as big as if this was equally cut amongst everybody, but just a little anonymous token of gratitude and a note that says until next time.
All right. And then Anemone, after everything that's been going on, you return to your shop. You return to Hyacinth, who's been sitting around eating lots of nice oats and being taken care of.
Yeah,
Hyacinth is the real winner out of all of this. Just
Hyacinth had the best time. Hyacinth did nothing. She's great. I think Anemone probably just continues running her shop, but I think maybe once a week she goes into kind of the further outreaches that are not in more of a city, but kind of like the outskirts of town, and grows or like encourages the growth of a certain type of garden, and she calls them Zaren's bluebells. And like
Aww.
with the hope that the bells remind people of, the bells that people who have crossed Zaren's path. But she wants to make sure she kind of doesn't stay intact in the city too much, because she's seen that there are things worth seeing sort of outside of just the flowers.
That's beautiful. And then finally, I'll end with Koyos, whose vision kind of started a lot of this craziness. So does he stick around the city for very long, or does he return back to his people and his tribe?
There's definitely the mission is done, we need to commiserate and celebrate a little bit, and that can be done in the city. But once that time is done, I think he's going to go back to the people of the exile. He's going to kind of take time to lovingly carve a kind of wooden fetish of, I don't know if you can see this, 2 birds like that. Carve a fetish of 2 birds, but their beaks share one eye in the center. He's going to kind of tell the legend, if you will, of the birds of night and day, and kind of the greater metaphors of what it means to be, you really can't be all just one thing. Eventually the cycle completes and you become the next thing. And then, of course, I give a huge shout out to those bluebells. And then half drunk and very, very late at night, as always, I light some incense and I lay down for another vision if the gods so choose me.
Wonderful.
Gotta save something for the sequel, right?
That's right. Give them a cliffhanger. Let them know.
Thank you so much for being a part of this, everybody. I thought you all did an amazing job. And thank you for playing my game.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So much, Shubber.
It's, dear friend, if you've made it this far in the video, you've already backed the Kickstarter. So I'm not going to say back the Kickstarter. I'm going to say maybe raise your pledge on the Kickstarter if you can, and signal boost. Tell everybody else, because
Tell
I
a
got to
friend.
lock them
Yeah.
first
Should
goals.
say, if you enjoyed this and want to read more about Anesidora or play more Anesidora, check out our Kickstarter. It would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Goodbye.